is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy. a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
With the 42nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select...
The Big O Radio Show hits the road with the EJDconstruction.com off-season NFL Draft Tour, presented by SportsGrill.com. Your home for the NFL Draft with 8 great locations in South Florida. Here's your host, Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you all are doing well out there. Let me get this way a little bit here. All right, let me make sure I'm, is it this way? Yes, I think it is that way. So there we go. Hope you all are doing well on a Thursday. We're rocking and rolling from Indianapolis. I think they start, there we go. I think they start running and jumping and doing all the silly shit today at the Combine. So for those of you that love to overreact about the 40 or any of those other things, you can do that today as they start doing all of that stuff. So we will take you till about 1 o'clock. We got a bunch of guests today on the show. Nick Hicks is going to join us, Tua's trainer. He'll stop by at 11 o'clock. We'll have some fun with him. At noon, Omar Kelly is also going to stop by and join us. So we got a couple of guests for you. Got a bunch of things to talk about. I want to go over some of the stuff that Chris Greer talked about yesterday, and I just really smart the way he kind of approached it all yesterday. So I thought that was funny, and it's a way where it kind of sets it up for people to overreact to some of this stuff, So it just I just kind of trip out on the reactions from people, because I got, the DMs come in, people on Twitter, on Instagram, they're coming at me all over the place on my phone. Did you see what he said here and this, that, and people just try to read too much into it when you really don't have to read into it. And we'll get into his comments. What else do we have? I don't have a regular kind of setup with a desk and everything in front. It's kind of makeshift what I'm doing here in Indianapolis. But anyway, we got the Heat last night. God, I tuned into that and it was like, oh my God, why am I watching this? They lose to the Sixers. They get trounced. Tonight, I'll watch the Predators over at Kilroy's. Remember, those of you that live in the Indianapolis area, if you live or work here in downtown Indianapolis, some of you have told me, that you wanted to hang out. Well, today at 5:30, I'll be at Kilroy's, okay? So if you want to come on by and hang out and meet us, I'll be there at Kilroy's in downtown Indianapolis at 5:30, okay? I'm looking forward to it, actually. Looking forward to the stuffed garlic rolls with cheese and pepperoni. Oh, my God. Those things are dangerous, man. They are so good. So good. We got a bunch of other things. John Morant is in the news. Got some stuff. Ravens also. Lamar Jackson. Some stuff has come out from that. Michael Irvin makes some progress. Got some stuff. Got some funny stuff to get into. A little music stuff also. And, of course, your questions, your comments, your reactions on anything and everything going on in the world of sports or crypto, which everything is down right now, right? The market, everything, weirdest thing, man. It's just, it's almost like
the pump that happened earlier, like these first couple months, it really tripped me out, as I told you guys. And now, we see maybe some bumps in the road. Unemployment may start picking up a little bit. It's like I was telling Matt yesterday. It's like the unemployment rate is low because most of us have 2 jobs or 3 jobs. That's why. It's not because of anything else. It's because it's so damn expensive to survive, and you see homeless people everywhere here in Indianapolis. It doesn't matter where you're at. You see homeless people all over the place. It's because it's expensive to just survive in this world. So, but yeah, markets are not doing well this morning. It'll eventually bounce back, but it's going to take a little time. I still think it's the latter half of this year is when we really will enjoy going into 2024 is when I really think it's going to turn the corner. I still think we're going to have a rough 6 to 9 months. These last 2 months were kind of, I don't know if it was misleading or, it just doesn't come off like it's you've really turned the corner, that kind of stuff. I see Steve Chapman is in the house. Brian Walters is in. Gus 1388. Ad Marks in. He's in Colorado Springs. Giovanni is in. Magnus in. Carrillo in. Alexis in. He says, morning to all. What an embarrassing Heat game last night. At this point, I could care less if we make the playoffs or play in. That's the scary part. That they're stuck in a play-in tournament. Oh my God, that's bad, dude. That's bad. It's the NBA. Almost everybody gets to the playoffs, says Lofi. Yeah, but Lofi, they're not a very good playoff team this year. And just to kind of get into the Heat a little bit, and I kind of feel bad for them. You know what I mean? Look, I'm the first one to tell you, I think, Riley and company have made a lot of bad decisions over the last few years. And I think Eric Spoelstra is such a really good coach that he's kind of bailed them out. I've talked about this many times. And even with the ownership group, I kind of get pissed off hearing about luxury tax and shit like that from the owners. So to me, I got to tell you, man, I know they want to win, and I know they thought they were doing the right thing, but it has not worked out, And because it hasn't worked out, you're going to see a rough year this year for the Miami Heat. I mean, a really rough year for the Heat. And they're still probably going to sneak into the playoffs. That's the amazing part about this team, that a rough year, they're still going to make the playoffs. But we have such high standards for them that if they don't meet them, then we're really all kind of pissed off. And they're the only team that produces titles in town. Like, they're the only team that really wins year in and year out. They still are winning. They're 33-30, I believe, or something. But they're still the team they're still the best franchise in town. They're the team that produces. And because they've set the bar so high for themselves, that what they're doing now just doesn't even come close to meeting the standard that you need. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that it's, not a good situation this year. And it's just poorly constructed. And it's all coming apart now, unfortunately. I mean, yesterday, no Embiid, and they run your ass right off the court. And I'm there, I'm here in Indy, and I'm like, okay, well, let me check in with the team, look at what's going on. And it's like, you're watching this, and it's like, wow, it's unbearable, man. It's tough. Let's see what else. MX is in. Hello from parts unknown. Mr. X doesn't want you to know where he's at. Manolo Rivera, Big O's hardest working man in the community. Stay away from Dairy Queen this time. Safe travels. Yeah, no Dairy Queens here. King Short says it's Overreaction Thursday. Gilbert Martinez, good morning. Carrillo says YouTube acting up. Where's it? No, it's just you, because I don't see anything here. Nothing's acting up on my recording. Nothing's acting up on live. Sean would tell me if something was acting up, but I don't see anything here. Might be your connection. Also, the amount of jobs is less too. Yeah. My favorite part is that people are because of right now, riskier assets are not going to strive right now. People are going to go more conservative, and they're going and getting government bills which pay 4% or something. Meanwhile, inflation's at 6%. So your money's not growing. You know what I'm saying? It's so ridiculous. People sometimes I whatever, man. It's the dollar loses 6 to 8% every year. You're putting your money in the government bills that are getting you 44%. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're not really getting ahead. It's the silliest thing in the world, but this is what we do, unfortunately. Knight is in, GP Trap is in. Says, coming back from my second bout of COVID. Getting better. Wow, man, hang in there. Sucks. And the worst part about that COVID crap is you just don't know how it's going to affect you compared to somebody else. It might just absolutely wallop your ass or kill you. And some other people, it'll be like a cold. And you just don't know. Or you could be like Dave Navarro, that you can't taste anything for 2 years. Jesus, can you imagine that? It's weird, man. Really is weird. True Fin fan in the house, Adam Pinkser. Will it hurt the Heat to play some defense once in a while and then they can't shoot? Not only that, but they can't shoot. When Ira tells me that, well, if you put this guy here, you can kind of hide him, I cringe at times because the problem is there are too many people you have to hide on the Heat. And that's not, again, this is unheat-like. It's unheat-like that you allow players to tell you what players to get. It's unheat-like that you have now become the team that re-signs all your journeymen and stuff like that to long-term contracts when you used to just develop them. And yeah, they resurrected their careers. And then you said, yeah, go, someone else give you the money, not us. All of a sudden now you're the one giving them the money. And then your defense is not really up to real Heat standards. There's a lot of things that are very not Heat-like going on with the organization. I'll just say it that way. Brian Ratke is in the house. Devin Jordan, this is another bad loss for the Heat, plus Embiid didn't even play last night. Embarrassing. Yeah, it was bad. Kevin Beal. Tyler Hero. Devin, they need to clean house, period. They need to trade everybody. Everybody that they can, except for Bam, of course. But if you can trade Jimmy, if you can trade Tyler, if you can get rid of Lowry, I think you try to I think you need to redo this entire roster and create flexibility for yourself. Cruz Ruiz in, Terry Lynch. Let's see. Michael says you keep freezing up. Mine's not freezing up, man. I don't know what to tell you. Sean, are we having any issues there? You seeing anything wrong? No. And he's the technical guy, and he knows way more than I ever will. Ken Sean is in. Says, go Dolphins, Marlins, Inter, Panthers. By summer, 8,600 is where Bitcoin will be. Ken Sean, you've been wrong 80,000 times. You might want to stop with all the predictions. The low was already hit. It was 16.5. As you've seen there, no matter how much the market has moved, it has stuck itself in between the 23, 24 range. It stayed up in the 20s. It doesn't even go back down. Meanwhile, other things can go back down, and it's kind of held really, really strong. But that's all right. You don't invest, so you don't really know. You just kind of comment on it. I watched the Fins 62-7 loss to the Jags last night. Crazy, the Jags went 14-2 that year. Only 2 losses were against the Titans. They lost to them in the AFC title game, 0-3. Yep. Googlass says, biggest Indiana Dolphins fan here. I hope you're enjoying our city. Thanks for bringing the sunshine. Yeah, it's been nice and warm. So hopefully I'll see you at Kilroy's today at 5:30, Googlass. Steve Rose is in. Says, when the Knicks are playing really well, something is wrong. Maybe the Earth's rotation is disturbed. Nizzle in. Says Stream is good to him. Let's see. Stream GP Trap says no issues here. Denardo Joseph says good morning. Corey Foster. Big O, who should we pick up for running back this year? I think they'll bring back the same 2 guys. I don't know who they'll get in free agency. That will be a whole different ballgame. But I think they'll try to bring back Wilson and Mostert. It worked out well, man. Maybe you get another back, but where? I don't know if it's free agency or the draft. Something tells me it'll be free agency because, well, you know what? They do have a 6th or 7th round pick, and these guys do like to pick late. I don't think it'll be with the 2nd and 3rd rounders. Not anymore. I think they'll go with the 2 guys, and then they'll get something under the radar. But again, it's got to fit the system, because that's the thing that happened last year with the Arizona kid that they brought in, and it certainly did not work out. That's for sure. Big O, I read Jason Kidd is finally calling Luka out for his immature ways. I know you've been saying that for a while. But he doesn't take care of himself. That's the thing. Luka is so talented, doesn't play defense. He looks like a small version of what was the guy's name again that I talked about from Oklahoma State? Big Country Reeves. Now, some of you are too young to even know who the hell Big Country Reeves is, but I want you to look at Big Country Reeves' body, which was much bigger than Luka, but it's the same body type. It's like this square, rounded dude. And if you look at it, Luka is a Big Country Reeves, smaller version playing, a guard-like position. It's a joke. It really is. It shows you how great he is, that he can gain all this weight and not take care of himself and still play at an incredibly high level, right? Can you imagine if Luka Doncic actually took care of himself and was in great athletic shape? He would be a much better player. But, you got Luka, who doesn't take care of himself and a great player, and then Kyrie Irving, who's, a few sandwiches short of a picnic, and that's not a guy that's committed either. Not physically, but just here. It's not a guy that's really committed, overall. He's got a lot of shit in his head that leads him in other directions. That's why, to me, when I saw that move, it was like, okay, big deal. 2 guys that can score and play no defense, and where are you going to get? You think those 2 guys are going to outscore all the way to an NBA title? When Dallas beat the Heat in 2010, it was because they were the much better team and they had more of a defensive disposition than Miami. Miami had the Mike Bibbies and all that stuff, remember? And they had to clean it up and had to, go get Shane Battier, add Ray Allen, add players that could help them defensively and offensively, add real pieces that fit and complement the big 3. They didn't have those pieces that first year. And also LeBron still had not graduated yet. It was that following year where he finally graduated because, JJ Barea is backing you up. You know, he's like posting you up. Like when I saw JJ Barea posting up LeBron, I said, "This is what's going on here? What are we doing?" JJ Barea's posting up LeBron James? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that's I don't know where you go with Luka and Kyrie Irving. And I think the last time I asked Sean, I think it was it on Monday or was it last Friday or something, or last Thursday? They were like 1-3 when they played together. I don't know what it is now, but I would imagine it's not that much better. Let's see, what else do we have here? Michael Fisk, by the way, yeah, it is Tua time. It is his birthday today. He's 25. So happy birthday to Tua today. Tried out the XFL, liked the pace and the mics on, but quality of play was blah. Oh, I mean, you can't expect it to be high quality, Lofi. This is more of a developmental league. You know, the players that you're going to be impressed with play in the NFL or for Georgia and Alabama. Big O, I read Jason. Oh no, I got that. Saw Coach McD's interview with Florio and Sims. Those guys are such clowns, pathetic. I did not see it. I don't know what they did. I have no idea. I was going to watch the Tua one, but that didn't happen. I guess I'll have to watch this one because it's Mike McDaniel. You know, I know about big country or tractor trailer or big baby type body. No. He doesn't have tractor trailer or big baby's body. He has big country Reeves body. They're all different kinds of bodies. But if you look at big country Reeves, I swear to you, go look at big country Reeves, find some video on him, and then go look at Luka Doncic right now. And it's the same player. The same player, just a little shorter. That's all it is. Same fat box. Maybe that's what we should call Luka, fat box. That's good. That's actually a good nickname for him, the fat box. Because he's fat, but it's kind of like a box. You know? Like Big Baby was fat, but there was roundish all over the place. You look at Luka, it's like a square. It's like a rounded square. And that's exactly was Big Country Reeves. He was just the same way, except a taller version of it. Do you believe the XFL or USFL will become one of the developmental leagues for the NFL? Donardo, if it'll be the XFL because Rock already has some relations with the NFL as it is. It'll be the XFL. But I'll tell you this, Donardo, without it, they won't survive. There's no long-term growth for the XFL or the USFL if they don't tie themselves to the NFL. We've talked about this before. I've told you what I think. It's got to become a developmental league where the bottom end of NFL rosters and practice squad players are playing in the XFL. Very important. Also, your receivers coach, he wants to become an offensive coordinator. So you have an older offensive coordinator, right? Now the receivers coach is going to go to the XFL and be somebody's offensive coordinator. So now he'll get a little training on calling games and get that in-game experience. And then you're training your guy for the future because you hope that your older offensive coordinator who might retire in the next year or two or three, maybe you got the guy in the wings and you can develop him. He can go to the XFL and call a season and be in that experience. So I think it's very important that, one, they mirror each other in rules, they mirror each other in philosophies, and then at the same time, you're not going to have 32 teams in the XFL, but you're going to have to get to like 16, right? And that way, two teams in the league will represent one XFL team, and then they'll be the feeder system for those. But the defenses have got to be kind of the same. So if you run 3-4s, they've got to run 3-4s. If you run a 4-3, they've got to run a 4-3. If you run a spread or you run a traditional more offense or whatever, all of those things have to have similarities. Just like, in the minors or in the NBA, you run the similar things. That way, when you do elevate them from the G League to the NBA, from the minors to the majors, there isn't a lot of change. And they're not thinking about different rules and different schemes and things like that. So all of those things have to kind of mesh. And then the way you build your coaching staffs, your front office, some of them for long-term purposes for guys, but then there has to be a developmental side to it all. Okay? So maybe your regional scout wants to become a college director of scouting, right? Well, then now it's his opportunity to, in an offseason, go over to the XFL and be the college director of scouting for a certain team. All of these kind of things have to kind of mesh. And if it does, then that league will have the opportunity to survive. Why? The XFL needs it for developmental purposes. But the problem has become what? College football is your developmental league. And so if college football is your developmental league, you don't need an XFL. You don't need a USFL. And they're not using one penny. If they tie themselves to the XFL, they'll be an expense. College football, they have zero expenses. And meanwhile, they're developing their players, which they're really not, because a lot of the spread now in college has made it harder to develop offensive linemen and road graders because they're passing, 70, 80% of the time in some colleges. It's ridiculous. So guys don't have their hand in the dirt and they're not, driving people into the ground. So it's harder to project some of these linemen. Can he become a good run blocker when he comes from a scheme that he barely blocked? Comes a challenge. So the XFL can help you in that area. Develop more offensive linemen. Things like that. What else do we have? Luca Squared. There we go. You don't think Nikola Jokic has more of a big country? No, not at all. Not at all. No. No, you didn't watch Big Country. I don't think you remember Big Country. If you're asking that. Jokic is not built like that. Not at all. Matt Carter. Got to like a Barkley Malone body. Well, those are two different bodies right there. Barkley did not have a body. Malone was a sculpture. The rules are kind of cool. It's different, but it's never going to gain an NFL. No. Nothing will gain an NFL. No sport will gain an NFL fan base in this country. Let's see. All Pat Riley wanted was Hardaway, Shaq, Anthony Mason is to stay in shape, and you can only imagine their extended careers. Herman says, Big O, great interview with Skylar. If you guys missed the interview with Skylar Thompson, you should check it out. He was really good yesterday. We got him for like 30 minutes, man. I told him about 15. You don't really realize it until you're in the middle of the interview, and I'm like, holy crap, it's already 20-something minutes. And I thought it was like 10 or something, and it just went by like that. It was fun. He did a good job. You don't need a discount code right now at Red Recover. They got 30% off, but you can use Big O, but I think you'll get the 30% off anyways right now. So go to redrecover.com. Okay. Great sponsor of ours. And if you're looking, by the way, since Sergio brought it up, redrecover.com, proud sponsor of ours, man. If you got shoulder injury, an old surgery, if you have a brand new surgery where you've got a scar, and let me tell you, red light therapy can help scars disappear. We've got videos showing that, okay? Go to the redrecover.com website. You'll see the videos blogs. You can find out more about red light therapy. It's healthy for your dogs. We've got the wraps for their hips. It's healthy for kids. It's healthy for adults. There is no side effects whatsoever. So go check it out. Go to redrecover.com and get 30% off right now. 30% off while it lasts. Take advantage. Redrecover.com. Right, the big O one is 10%. You can, it isn't on the 30% anymore? Did it? Oh, it's March. It's March, maybe. I don't know. Let me ask. My discount, big O, is 10%, but I told you guys to jump on the 30% while it lasts. Let me ask if it's still going on. Let's see. Big O, I heard a rumor that the mailman was a stripper at Chippendales for 2 weeks after his playing career ended. Just kidding. LOL. He probably could have done it, right? I mean, that dude was chiseled, bro. He probably had a future in that. Big O, why don't you put a timeline on your videos of what you're talking about and time your guests on it? We have individual videos with those interviews. So don't need it. When Omar Kelly comes on, it's there. What are you gonna say, Sean?
No, I think he's talking about on the timeline so they can see it, which you send out in your tweet if they're following you at Big O Show.
Huh?
He's saying, why don't you send out what time your guests are going to be on the chat here? You send that out in the tweet.
Oh, okay. I say it at the beginning of the show all the time.
I know. I'm just saying that.
Just go to the beginning of the show, bro. I mean, how fucking lazy are you already? Just go to the beginning of the show. Work. Some of you out there, it's like you ask me questions. It's on the goddamn timeline. Check the goddamn timeline. I talk about the guests at the beginning of the show. You want to know when they're on? You'll find out when they're on. Some of you out there, work, bro. Work. If you listen to the show, I talk about at the beginning of the show, I tell you when the guests are on. So you want to find out? Go to the beginning of the show. I'll tell you when the guests are on. This happens all the time. Some of you out there are so incredibly lazy that it has to be like put right in your face. You know? Search, man. Work a little bit. I do enough work, and so does Sean. You do your part. Ricardo Cuchican, thank you, sir. Dear O, yesterday I had the opportunity to meet and greet Tua. What a humble young man. He's far away to look fragile. Hope he'll be healthy, and he definitely take us to the Super Bowl. Let's see. Thank God for this show. What a lonely offseason if it weren't for this. It's going to be a great offseason, actually. It's going to be a lot of fun this offseason. Tua has some tree trunks for legs. Yeah, dude, he's not a skinny guy. He's just had some terrible freaking luck. You know? Big O, my woman's client bought 130,000 in March of Bitcoin at 13,000. He made 100 grand in 4 months. It never got to 13,000. So I'm not sure. You can't buy Bitcoin at 13,000 when it never got to 13,000. So I don't know what March you're talking about. I don't know how many years ago you're talking about, but it only got as low as 16.5 this year. Troy, thank you for becoming the first one to overreact and bite for the bait. All right, well, it's 10:30. Let me get into a little Dolphins talk for some of you out there. Here's Troy Ortiz. Oh, is Greer serious? He might extend Tua this season. He's not extending Tua. There's no chance he's extending Tua at all. Let me explain to some of you out there that you don't get how this, like Troy, doesn't get how this game is played. Okay? Chris Greer told you that, he wouldn't shut the door on Mike Gesicki. Mike McDaniel told you he wouldn't shut the door. We're not in the business of denying good players. What do you believe? You believe there's any chance Mike Gesicki comes back? No. He doesn't fit what they do. He proved it every week by rarely ever playing the guy. Byron Jones. The dude waits till March to have the surgery, screws you the entire season, whether his body's falling apart or not, or whether he doesn't even know that football does damage to him, whatever. I don't give a shit, to be quite honest. Okay, I don't have any sympathy for that. Shayna, you bought your tickets. You knew what you were getting into. I say, let him crash. Do you think Byron Jones has any shot at coming back? No. But do they tell you that? No, because they're not going to slam a player. And in the Tua thing, Troy, don't be so gullible, dude. There's zero chance they give him an extension unless he wants to, maybe agree to a 5-year, $100 million deal at $20 million per season. Oh, here, Tua, go ahead, sign. We'll give you $40 million up front. Here you go. They're not going to do that either, because that would be under even the franchise tag, right? Or not the franchise tag, the 5th-year option, which is 23. So the game is played like we don't trash players. We don't say we don't want them. We don't say we want no part of them. Nothing. We don't do any of that. We love you, Gesicki. Oh, yeah, we'll have you back. No shot. Oh, no, we love you, Byron Jones. No, you never know. Vic Fangio has to, look it over, and, we think the world of Byron. No fucking shot. Come on, dude. So you have Tua's your guy. They believe in Tua. They want Tua. But they're not going to say, we're not signing Tua now. We have no intentions on giving Tua a long-term contract. Are you kidding me? The guy has to prove he's durable, which that's what they're saying behind the scenes, but they can't say that publicly. So there is no shot at all whatsoever of a long-term contract. It's either a 5th-year option or not. That's the decision. That's the one that they don't know. But the entire time they have to say they embrace Tua. They want him here for a long time. Yeah, we want to sign him to a long-term deal. Is that going to happen this offseason? Of course not. They have to first see that he can stay, healthy, that he has figured out how to get rid of the ball, to do all the right things out there and be able to extend plays and extend his career and all that kind of stuff, right? Once you get past that, that hurdle, then you can talk about a long-term contract a year or two from now. But there is no chance. All that was a general manager telling you how much they want the player, how much they love the player, and telling the player publicly and telling the agent publicly how much they want him. Behind the scenes, there's no shot of a contract extension. None. Okay? So let's not overreact. Let's not fall for, the bait. This is a PR game that is being played. I tell you this constantly when McDaniel was on the podium throughout the year, that he does this shit all the time. And so does Chris Greer. They know how to play the game. They're not going to talk about, we're done with this guy. We don't want him. No, they're not going to do that. That's not how they entertain all this stuff. You're going to attract more, there's a saying, right? You attract more with honey than with vinegar or something. I forgot what it is, or some shit like that. That's what it's all about, man. All that was a PR game. Nothing was said there yesterday that was earth-shattering in any way, shape, or form. The only thing was that, of course, we're a little concerned about the injuries. And right there is the one that tells you they're not getting a contract extension. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that obviously we're concerned with, And that was about the biggest negative that he could say out of the whole thing, which is something that everybody knows. So Troy or anybody else out there, because I got a bunch of DMs and I got some tweets and some Instagram DMs and Facebook DMs and texts on my phone about an extension. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. There will be no extension. Okay? That's just talk. Smart talk, by the way. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Pat in Asheville says, can you send me the guest times via carrier pigeon from Indy? I just want to walk outside and have the times gently land on my shoulder. Big O asked Sean if he agrees with the 3 refs holding a ladder in a ladder match. He will know what I'm talking about. Okay. Is that something that happened yesterday in wrestling, I would imagine?
Yeah, they did a spot with Powerhouse Hobbs, and he took out the ladder, and then he had to climb said ladder, and he's about 280. So they had to have 4 refs. Instead of the 10 ladders laying around outside, him going to get a new one, they used the bad one and had 4 referees struggling, trying to hold a 208-pound guy, climbing to the very top of the ladder to retrieve a brass ring to win the match, instead of just getting a ladder from somewhere else. But hey.
By the way, how was my prediction yesterday?
Who'd you have? Hook, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you won.
And that other guy yesterday questioning my wrestling analysis. I mean, how do you question my wrestling analysis?
I don't think he questioned your wrestling analysis. He questioned every way you got to it because he didn't think you thought you were talking wrestling.
Of course I was talking wrestling. What's wrong with him? That's pure wrestling breakdown right there, bro. Nobody breaks down wrestling like I do. Accurately. Let's see. They won't sign him for 5 years. You mean after the 5th year is what you mean on that one, Jason? What else? Big O, do you think the NFL will bring back the spotters for concussions again this year? They probably will. They'll just try to tweak it and all that. Flies with honey. There you go. Then with vinegar. You attract more flies with honey than vinegar. Thank you, guys. There you go. Big O, everybody knows Chris Greer's playing poker right now. You can't believe every word that comes out of his mouth, especially with Gesicki. The Gesicki and the Byron Jones ones will tell you right away. Like that was so much BS. Okay? While Mike McDaniel and Greer are talking about, it's just like crap needs to be just spewing out of their mouths the entire time, because they are bullshitting everybody on that one, man. There is no shot those guys come back. If you could land Rodgers, you want to re-sign Gesicki. Rodgers. What does Rodgers for Gesicki mean? I don't know what you mean. Oh, you talk about like Aaron Rodgers? But that has nothing to do with Miami. They're not gonna. That's even ridiculous. That's not even something that's even going to be considered. Let's see. That guy has no idea of Big O's wrestling breakdowns. I mean, when you want real wrestling breakdown, you come here to this show here. We give you the wrestling breakdown that nobody else can give you. Big O, where do you put the wrestling prediction dartboard? Usually I take it with me everywhere I go. And I've got it up on the board right here. And then I just work it. And got to tell you, it's comes through quite often. He did one of the things that he did say he'd like Wilson and Mostert back. Now that would be more truth than Gesicki and Byron Jones. That I believe, because why? What's been his MO? Cheap on the running back. They like their running backs interchangeable. Okay, like your underwear. Well, most of you, I hope, right? I hope you're changing underwears every day. So, most of you do that, right? Well, that's how Chris Greer treats his running backs, like underwears. He doesn't want an underwear he doesn't want a running back that's a tie, and then you're tied down to it forever. No, dude. No. He wants to be able to throw it in the hamper and go get a brand new one, a fresh one. And that's kind of his running backs. He doesn't really go out there and spend high picks. He doesn't spend big money. And Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert do not require big money. And this is a year where you've got to pay some people. You don't have a ton of cap space. You need flexibility. You're not going to go out and pay for Saquon Barkley or anything like that. So I think the running back part that he said that he'd like Wilson and Mostert back, I kind of think that that's the truth. And that's because of it makes fiscal sense to do that. What else did he say yesterday? We talked about the Tua stuff. We talked about the Byron. Oh, I'll tell you, he gave us some meat on the bone yesterday, okay? He laid it down yesterday on two things, and we've been talking about it here a lot on the show. He said linebacker and safety. And remember, we've been talking about how your safeties have to be cover safeties. Sure, help you run support and all that other stuff, but they have to excel. And normally your free safety excels, right? And obviously the Dolphins have a guy that can do anything and everything back there, right? But they need another guy. And the problem is, while I'm a Brandon Jones fan, been a Brandon Jones fan since they drafted him, and I had faith in him that he would get better and better in coverage. And he was getting better. And last year he made some improvement, but he's not at the point where Fangio will feel comfortable. At least I don't think. And so that's why I think that there could be a move at safety. And I know there's going to be moves at linebacker. I am 1,000% sure there's going to be a couple of linebackers added to this team. And a couple will be subtracted from this team because Fangio will require certain things from the linebackers that all these guys don't possess. So that will change. Whether it's Baker being better at run support or whether it's a Landon Roberts and Ingram being able to cover. Whatever the weakness is in your game, that's going to be a problem for Fangio. So they're going to want to find guys that are a little bit more two-way, because that's the only way you can be a make or break defense, where you just you're on those 7, 10, 12, 15 play drives, and they want to keep you in a way where they're keeping everything up front, and you've got to be perfect. That's kind of the way Fangio plays. So in order for you to play like that, your front seven, well, not the front four, but the linebackers and definitely your safeties have to have great cover skills. So you're going to need linebackers that can run, not just stuff the run, but be able to run out in the open field. And I think that the requirements at linebacker are going to change, because once you change schemes and you change defensive coordinators, there's going to be changes. And I think safety is one, and definitely linebacker is going to see a hell of a turnover. I think you'll see 2 to 3 different linebackers on this team. I really believe that. And let's hope, by the way, Channing Tindall can take that step forward, because he possesses the skills that Vic Fangio needs for his defense. So it'd be really cool if Channing Tindall comes through. I'm not worried about a rookie year, him not doing well. Not worried about that. That's a lot of rookies struggle their first year, So to me, that's nothing new. EJD Construction, by the way, a proud sponsor of our program, our platform, and this trip here. So support the great people that support us. If you're looking for custom home construction or major home remodeling, folks, this is Eric's personal cell number. So you get to talk to the owner right away. 305-433-4843. Doesn't matter what you need to do. Maybe you need to upgrade your roof, because right now a lot of insurance companies are requiring you to update your roof. If your roof is over 20 years old and you call in for that new policy and you check, and they're going to say, "Oh, wait a minute, before we give you that new policy, is your roof updated?" And if it's not, call EJD Construction. They can update it for you at 305-433-4843. Fully insured, liability and workers' comp. So everybody walking into your home cannot sue you because they're insured. You hire somebody that's not insured, and you are putting yourself at risk. So whatever it is you need to build a second floor to your home. You need to add an extra room. You need to modernize that kitchen. One of our listeners is remediating the house, which they had a fire. And so everything needs to be gutted out. They do that too. They do it all, man. Full contractor. They can do anything and everything for you. Call them 305-433-4843 and search for them on Instagram at EJD Construction, so you can see a lot of the work that they've done. Excellent work, man. Excellent work. I should know, seen it firsthand in many different fashions with them. They are amazing. EJDconstruction.com. Big O, haven't tapped in a while. Where are you at? Really, dude? Did you not see the headline when you tapped in? Remember what I talked about just now? Laziness. Let's see. Oh, do you have access inside the stadium for the combine this year? Yes, but I don't care about it. I don't go. I don't care about the 40 times and, the silly little interviews there for the draft and all that. I don't care about any of that stuff. To me, none of that matters. It's the last reason I'm here is for that. I'm here more to meet people and talk to them outside. That's really what it's all about. I know today they're doing it. They're starting all their running and jumping and all that garbage. I just don't care about it. I find it to be as useless as it gets, to be quite honest. So yeah, I have access, but I'm here doing this instead of being there. And I'd rather be here doing this than being there, to be quite honest. Let's see. Big O, Dougie had a good point. Vernon McKinley running this system with Holland in college doesn't mean anything. He hasn't proven enough at this level. So it's nice. And it's good that he's got cover skills, and maybe he can listen. This front office knows how to find secondary guys. So if they like Vernon McKinley, maybe there's something there with the kid. And he wasn't bad last year, but it doesn't mean anything. We'll see if Fangio likes him. That's when we'll find out. But I would not put it past Vernon McKinley becoming a contributor on this team, because they find them. They find these guys in the secondary. They're really good at finding guys in the secondary. A whole lot of tampering going on. That's right. That's exactly what's going on. A whole lot of tamperings going on. By the way, did you guys see the Louisville game last night? So Louisville was playing a basket. Well, I don't know what they do. Is it called basketball? Because they're 4-26 here under Kenny Payne. Now there's a lot of pain being brought to Louisville right now. So they had a doggy performing at halftime. And I don't know if you guys saw the lowlights, but here's the dog performing. I would call it a highlight, actually, because, you know, dogs are the coolest thing on the planet. So let's go with the dog performing at the Louisville game. Oh, my man is dropping the juice. And the reaction from the crowd is just absolutely awesome because they see it go down, and they see the Brown Town go down, and so everybody goes crazy on it. And just to kind of fill you in on the story, it was at the Louisville Virginia Tech game. The canine was doing tricks with the frisbee, but the show eventually started to stink literally when the dog walked up to its trainer near the baseline to do another move. When out of nowhere, it pops a squat and lets it all out. Now, for those of you that, if you don't own dogs, all right, if your dog hasn't done poop in a while and they run around, it kind of gets their bowels moving. Okay, I know because we own several dogs. And, you know, they once you get them exercising a little bit, kind of gets them moving, and they usually end up going to the bathroom. I know because it happens to us in our backyard. You know, we're playing with the dogs and running around, and then all of a sudden you notice that they want to go to the bathroom. You know, so you got to make sure your dog has gone to the bathroom, or you're going to feel the pain from Kenny Payne. Now we have another video. Here's Klay Thompson, and he's being interviewed, by the way, by the late Pedro Gomez, rest in peace, one of the classiest dudes that you'll ever meet. And rest in peace, Pedro, man. Un abrazo. He is one of the really, really good people. We lost him way too early. But in this clip, Pedro is interviewing Klay Thompson. He's at Dodger Stadium. And, you know, he's out there doing a little BP. And Klay's dog is there. I want you to look in the background behind Klay during this interview.
Especially for our family, like, wow, he really made it, especially when you hear your name called by Vince Scully. So it's awesome. I can't wait to meet Vin. You know, I know he's met so many people in his lifetime. So to be another one, it's a real honor.
Klay Thompson, Trace Thompson, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah. So there's the dog dropping the deuce. And you like how the cameraman went to the left to try to take the dog out of the picture, and then you can hear the people in the background. That is awesome. That is awesome. You got to love dogs, man. Dogs are just absolutely the best. They really are. God. Maybe if you give the dog a little nature B, he won't go in public there and embarrass you. By the way, I'm not saying Nature B can help you there, but Nature B can help you highlight your libido, a little allergy relief, a little energy, boosting that immune system, which is my favorite thing. I've been dealing with it for many, many years now. I've been taking it for over 20 years. And one of the things that I'm always able to fight off is a cold. I rarely have a cold, and I attribute it all to Nature B, taking it every day. Do I get one every once in a blue moon? Yeah, of course I'll get it. And it's gone quickly too. That's the other thing. Listen, muscle recovery after working out, less stress, stronger nails, fuller hair. There's so many benefits from Nature B. That's why I want you to go to natureb.com/Big O, and you could get a 100-day supply. It's over 3 months for only $85. 2 capsules a day, 85 cents a day. That's a joke. You can use it. Your kids can use it. Brother, you take 2 a day. Somebody grabs and takes 15 of them, they're not going to OD. They're just going to be well protected. That's all it is. Can't even hurt you because it's all natural. It's plant pollen from clean green New Zealand. It comes straight from Mother Nature, not made in some lab or anything like that. That's why the kids can take it. That's why the adults can take it. And listen, kids are always dealing with all kinds of nasties in school. So you want them protected. That way when they come home, they're protecting you. So go to naturebee.com/Big O. Get this 100-day supply right now for only $85. And we're going to give you a free Manuka honey lip balm. So we're going to throw that in for free when you order it. Go to naturebee.com/Big O. 100-day supply, only $85. That's 85 cents a day, plus your Manuka honey lip balm for free. naturebee.com. Let's take a break. Hour number 2 starts with Nick Hicks, Tua's trainer, right here on the Big O Radio Show.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. We're back. We're back with our coverage of the NFL Draft. It's the EJDConstruction.com off-season NFL Draft Tour, presented by SportsGrill.com. Your home for the NFL Draft and a perfect place to root on your favorite South Florida team. With 8 great locations in South Florida, go to SportsGrill.com to find the nearest location to you.
All right, baby, there he is, Nick Hicks. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Oh, what is up, brother? How are you?
Well, we got to celebrate Tua's 25th birthday by getting you on.
Happy birthday to the kid, man. 2-5. That's a big year.
Yeah, man. That is awesome.
What were you doing at 25 years old, Big O?
I was starting my radio career.
That's awesome. Starting it. So
Yeah,
very,
starting
so it was your the very first year of inception of the Big O show? Or where were you working?
Yeah, no, it's the very first year when I think about it now, because no, it's actually a couple of years in. Okay, this is starting my 33rd year.
Damn, man.
So it's 23. So it's 23 when I started, right? I think 20. Yeah, right around 23 when I started.
So you were rocking and rolling then.
Yeah, well, I was working at a Haitian station, actually.
What does that mean?
I was producing Creole, which I couldn't even understand the language.
That's what's up, man. Love that.
Yeah, man, you got to start somewhere, you know.
Man, I remember when I was 25. I was a year in of my opening my first facility, which was called Elevate back in the day. So,
Okay.
so yeah, man, it seems like such a long time ago. Yeah, man, I'm happy for him. He's in a great place right now in his life. You know, he looks happy. He's definitely changed. You know, from when I met him back when he was, he was 22 years old. So it's definitely great things happening for the kid.
Do you enjoy being his left tackle out there in social media?
You know what, man? I feel like I do a really good job of protecting his blind side. So that's a great analogy, my man. You know, I do enjoy it because, and I'm like this with every single one of my guys, to be honest with you. You know, if you want to put, your trust in me to prepare you for an NFL offseason, I'm going to go to war for you if anyone talks any kind of shit about you, because I know what the kind of work that you're putting in. I know the hours that you're putting in. I know how much it means to you and how important it is to you. It just so happens that Tua is the most polarizing person on Twitter in our area, if that in the entire NFL landscape. So I got to go to war for him a little bit harder.
And I don't get it, by the way.
Yeah, me neither. I don't
get it. He's not out there committing crimes. He's not out there insulting people. He's not out there being a terrible teammate. He's not, all the shit that normally brings a polarizing player to your world, whether it's Antonio Brown or different guys that we can talk about that, they are polarizing. For this guy is as perfect as you would want a teammate, a human being, to be. And instead of gravitating and trying to, hope that these are the kind of people you want to succeed. These are the kind of people you want to set an example for your kids. That it's like, look, here's the thing that I've been exposing a lot of these phonies out there. A whole bunch of these guys and women probably that said, oh, he can't play. He's too short, noodle arm. He plays too much golf, all that shit. Now that he proved that he can play, now they all moved over to the injury stuff. You know what I mean? And so it's like they try to find something to justify how they feel about the young man. And it's the weirdest dynamic, Nick. It really is, dude.
And I think it's honestly the troll environment. It's the troll culture. People on social media platforms that have YouTube channels, that do Twitter spaces, that do all this kind of stuff. They know that they're going to get traffic if they say fake news or false things about the kid. And it works. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I was very easy to attack all of that early. I just started using Twitter, honestly, 3 years ago. I was never on Twitter before then. So I just started Twitter 3 years ago, and I really didn't know how to control myself at first, how to not respond to every single thing. I was easily triggered. But you grow to learn that most of these people want that. That's what they're striving. They're striving for your response. They want to see you get upset. They want to see what you can say to their blasphemous remark. And I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better at it for sure, because I guess I've grown up. I've matured in my Twitter life. So, but it is what it is, man. It's going to keep coming. The kid's going to win a Super Bowl, and there's still going to be haters out there just because that's their MO. And if they abandon it, they will then be exposed as frauds, and that's not what they want.
By the way, does he have any idea who the hell I am?
He does. He knows. He's not on social media.
I know he's not on social media, but being around you and you know me, and I'm like the only freaking media guy that like I'm his left tackle.
Yeah.
In the media. I don't know. Does he even know who the hell I am? Does he know that I actually like defend his ass?
I try to keep all of the social media stuff away from our conversations and our training sessions just because it doesn't really bring any value to what I'm trying to accomplish. Right. But he does know that there are a select people on this in this space that have his back, and you're one of them.
Yeah. All right. Good. I'm glad he knows.
Yeah.
I got to get him on, bro.
Yeah. Good luck with that, man. He stays away from all this kind of stuff.
I know. But he'd have a safe zone here at least.
Yeah, 100% he would, and he knows. That. I just think he's focused on training, and then when it's not training, he's focused on playing, and then when he has a break, he's focused on his family. He's just as kind of who he is. And I respect that. I commend that. I think it's very admirable. Because a lot of people would want to jump on platforms and kind of, clear their name for themselves. Me. But he doesn't care about that kind of stuff, man. And it's very admirable.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I got no problem with that. Yeah. All right. So first of all, let me commend you on something because, and maybe I'm wrong here in a way, but you tell me. So he comes off the hip injury, and then that first year, you're kind of really recovering and trying to get yourself back on track.
Yeah.
But in that second offseason, which was last offseason, you did a phenomenal job of working that core and then that flexibility for him and, all those drills that you had him picking up the ball off the floor and throwing it from one side to the other and all that stuff. Was that the plan? Because coming off the hip, you now have to kind of strengthen that core overall because obviously that's the lifeblood of a quarterback as it is.
Of course. So I'll give you the rundown of that. So when Tua's agent first approached me to train him in the offseason, he was coming off of his rookie year, right? And during his rookie year, he was a shell of himself. He was not physically up to, the standard that we all had seen him play at Alabama. So you kind of rewind the clock and figure out why, right? So he had his injury, and then from his injury, he went and had surgery. And then from surgery, he had to rehab and prepare for a pro day, right? So then he prepared for his pro day. The draft comes, you get drafted. Then you immediately go to your said team that drafted you. You go through rookie minicamp, you go through minicamp, you go through camp, you go through preseason, you go through the season. And there's just not time to build your body up. It's go time. Look, you've got to play football, and I think personally, maybe he shouldn't have played at all his rookie year. I think he was just kind of thrown into the fire, right? So,
that's what I said the whole year. Let him freaking get healthy.
Exactly.
He does not need to play. But then again, the guy that was a head coach didn't really give a shit about him.
I don't have much to say about him.
You don't have to say it. I'll say it. Don't worry.
Exactly. So after year one, I had never met Tua his rookie year. At the end of his rookie year is when I had met him and we started training, right? So, for me, what I like to do when I start with a new client is kind of, put together a needs assessment, figuring out what they need to accomplish this offseason, right? It's not just training. People need to understand that, when I get my hands on a guy or a guy comes to me for the first time, we sit down and we figure out where his weaknesses are. We do baseline testing to kind of see where he is so I can put together a program that's going to attack the weaknesses so that we're getting desired results. So for him, he was just very weak in his lower half. He had a lot of imbalances from the right and the left side, zero stability in lower extremities. Just really didn't have much really to build off of. So we had to build. So the entire first offseason with him was rebuilding the car, right? Kind of building the body back up. We had to do a lot of strength training, a lot of resistance training. There wasn't really stuff that we could do throwing the ball wise, because if you skip those steps, right, and we don't really worry about bulletproofing the body, then you're going to find some other issues down the road, right?
And the throws won't be nearly as good.
Exactly. So, it was all about, foundational building and getting him stronger and getting him back to, the athlete that he could be. I believe that that was when he had that year he had the fractured ribs and he had the broken finger, and he was going through a lot of stuff, with trade rumors and all that kind of whatever. And man, he dealt with it. And
he still beat the Ravens.
He dealt with it like a champ, man. I mean, at the Ravens game, he didn't have one first team rep that all week. As you can remember, he didn't have the eye black on his face because he was told he was not playing, and he just got thrown in the fire. And guess what? He came out alive, and he led us to a win. So after year one, really with me, it was the second year in the NFL. The Dolphins staff did a great job at keeping his body pretty strong. Shout out to Dave Palooka and the guys, man. They really did a great job of helping him maintain his strength throughout that season. So when our second off season started, we were ready to go. We still had to kind of, knock the rust off and get back in the weight room and build another foundation, but it wasn't nearly as drastic or it wasn't the plan that we had to attack the year before. So we got into a throwing program. And a lot of people come at me because I'm not a quarterback coach, and I get that. I'm not a quarterback coach, but there's a lot of resources out there to learn proper throwing mechanics and how to increase velocity and how to work on off-platform throwing and all that good stuff. And Tua wanted me to do it. It was Tua's choice. It wasn't like I forced him. Tua wanted me to do it, and so we put together a program, and I was very, very happy with the program. Tua increased in all categories, throwing the ball, whether it was throwing the deep ball, whether it was throwing intermediate throws and being accurate over the middle, which was something that, we had to work on. It just sucks that I never in a million years thought that we would have to strengthen his neck and have to do neck strengthening exercises and falling mechanics, and the only thing that kind of, knocked Tua off the tracks last year was that, because he was leading every, legitimate statistical quarterback category. And it was just something that, I feel like nobody thought would happen. But he was playing at the highest level of any quarterback in the NFL last year for a long period of time, until that happened. So this offseason, obviously, was a little bit different. We still are it's almost like a little collective of years 1, 2, and 3, off seasons 1, 2, and 3. And I'm excited to get it going, man. I know we started a couple weeks ago now, and I'm gone for this week, and he's back home doing his thing right now. So, after Indy, after I get back, we really start to crush phase 1, and I'm excited about it, man.
And listen, after that past off season,
yeah,
he comes back and he's the number 1 rated passer. He has one of the best completion percentages in deep balls in the NFL. I don't know if he was 1, 2, or 3, but he was right up there. I don't know what it was, but it's ridiculous.
I mean, his air yards per completion were number 1. People said he couldn't do it.
Right.
And I know everyone says, "Oh, he's a yak merchant." A stat came out yesterday that he was bottom barrel in yak. I mean, it's like
narratives, bro.
Yeah.
These are all these bullshit narratives that people create, and there's no facts behind them. And it's like, what are you watching? You know what I mean? It's just like.
They're watching, certain media guys that have an agenda, not really an agenda, but they have a shtick that they got to stand by, that they've been spewing out for multiple years now. And if they go back, it's kind of a bad look on their credibility. So it's almost like they're at the end of the plank, right? And they can't turn around. They got to just.
By the way, we're all wrong. So
100%.
Doesn't really hurt. What hurts your credibility is when you're not willing to admit you're wrong.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Since we're human beings, we're going to get shit right and we're going to get it wrong. Yep. But we have to acknowledge when we're wrong too. And then that's where your credibility stands, is when you admit when you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
So, all right. So you were able to work on the core. And now we talk about, I took judo for 3 years. So when I heard and it's jujitsu, but it's kind of the same thing anyways, because it's really not about fighting or anything like that. It's really about protecting your body.
Yeah.
And I remember that in judo, that was kind of the trick, that you want to learn how to fall, because 1, you could get up a lot faster, and 2, obviously you're gonna suffer less pain and anything like that if you learn how to fall and roll
Well,
and
yeah.
those kind of things.
So jiu-jitsu is derived from judo.
Right.
Judo is, I believe, an Asian practice, and some Brazilian guys came and practiced judo in Asia and figured out that they could kind of change the way judo is and apply ground techniques, right? But there are judo beliefs and practices inside of jiu-jitsu. So with that being said, right, the goal of if you and I were in a judo match or a jiu-jitsu match, right, my goal is to end the match, beat you, right? And I could do that by multiple ways. That's slamming you, picking you up and slamming you and knocking you unconscious. And if you don't learn how to land properly and you're getting slammed and knocked unconscious, you're not going to be a good judo practitioner, correct?
Yeah.
So the very first thing that they teach you in this realm of sport is how to land. It's called break falling. So it's not something that's uber, confusing or hard to learn. It's very pretty. It's actually pretty simple. But it's just something that once you learn, your body now is first nature to it.
Yes.
You know?
I can tell you that because years after judo, a couple times that I've fallen, I know how to roll.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things that I know how to break my fall.
Yep.
And that has saved my ass from actually getting injured.
Conor
or
McGregor,
maybe I got a little banged up or something, but I got right back up again with no problem, but I did not get injured.
Yeah. Conor McGregor was recently hit by a car while riding his bike. Right. And from his, story of what happened, he got hit, he got ejected off the bike, and he literally landed into a roll, like a front somersault, and popped straight up, had no issues. If he didn't, he claims that if he didn't have martial arts and judo and jiu-jitsu, background and experience, he probably would have broken his neck and died.
Right. He would have gone face first and awkwardly roll and just
exactly.
Exactly. I know. Yeah.
So yeah, man, he's been doing that and he's loving it. And again, I want people to know and understand that without me really getting too much into depth about what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we want to kind of keep it in house. But it's a comprehensive plan built for him, for him. We our coaches, our jiu-jitsu coaches have seen tape and they've seen some issues that Tua has a problem with while he's getting hit. And it's all just, a subconscious movement. It's something that it's kind of what he does naturally. And we're trying to change that. So there are some football techniques in there. There's a lot of different, I guess you could say the program is tailored to a football player, not to becoming a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Right. Yeah.
So, and he's loving it. He's enjoying it. The team's great. It's so funny because they didn't even know who he was, which I thought was amazing. They're just, their life is jiu-jitsu. They don't really know much about football.
Right.
And when I have to explain to him the issues, man, he's like, okay, cool. I get it now. So when the receiver goes into the touchdown zone and they try to tackle him, and he thought like the touchdown zone was like the middle of the field. And I was like, yeah, that's just the field. And he goes, okay. So and then, he calls him the ball catcher, not the receiver. He calls him the ball catcher. It's just funny because, they just really don't have any idea about football, but we don't have any idea about jiu-jitsu. We have no clue. I mean, I'm doing the stuff with Tua and, we're falling down and popping up, and we're doing certain rolls and whatnot. And it's exhausting. It's a completely different type of physical exertion that we're used to. These guys are doing it, and then we go take the football and we watch them throw a football and they have no idea what they're doing. They're grabbing the back of the football as opposed to the front of the football. They're throwing it and it's moving their hand. It's just like both worlds are colliding and it's actually really cool to see.
Well, sometimes I try to tell people in sports this because sometimes they think that the entire world thinks like they do. And I don't think people realize that we're the minority. Yep. Most people aren't sports fans, actually. Yep. Most people aren't watching football, no matter what. I know it's the number one sport in the country. I get that, but most people aren't really watching sports. They're watching normal life and crap go on, and it's just like one of those things. So running into people that don't follow sports, that's very common. Yeah. It's just we think that we're in this echo chamber that we live and eat, breathe sports. Yep. We think everybody else does, and it couldn't be farther from the truth.
Yep.
Now I gave you a stat at the airport that you kind of you were like,
it's awesome.
And so and I don't know how much he's aware of it. I'm sure they've talked to him about getting rid of the football. And to me, that's kind of been his.
Yeah.
To me, it's more about terrible luck for him, but also it's holding on to it a little too long because he has that freaking Warriors mentality that he wants to make the play. And sometimes he's just got to live for the next play. You know what I mean? Yep. And I know you know what, by the way, if I could get him one day and talk to him, I know he admires Marino. I wish he would watch the tape. Marino used to throw it away like it was going out of style, dude.
Yeah.
All the time because he wasn't going to get hit. Yeah. He would live for the next play. When you're a great passer, and yes, I'm saying Tua is a great passer for those of you out there that are hating. Yeah. But when you're a great passer, you can live for the next play. You can.
Agreed.
You don't have to. And I told you that his ankle injuries, his hip, and the 2 concussions from this year all happened between 3.81 and 5.1 seconds. And, you know,
long time.
Yeah, bro. It's just a long time. And that's where you're allowing these big fat guys to build up some steam and railroad you, bro. Yeah. You know, look, we saw when Joe Burrow didn't have a line that first year and he was getting pummeled and he ended up blowing out his knee.
Yep.
I don't care who you are, bro. The body's not built for this pounding. And that's the one thing that I want him to be just a little bit more aware of. Like, live for the next play, my brother. You're that good that don't worry about it. We saw you on 4th and 7.
Yep.
You did it against the Patriots. We saw you, dude. We saw you in the Ravens game down by 21. You can do it, but you don't have to do it all on one play.
And I'm sure he knows that. Listen, I don't really know what conversations he has with his coaches or with, his agency and whatnot. But I do know that is something that he is aware of. But it's so much easier said than done, right? When you've been doing it your whole life and you've been extending plays, you've been spinning around a defensive tackle and flashing your eyes down the field and finding Jerry Jeudy in the back of the end zone, at Bama and doing stuff like that. It's tough, but he's committed to growing. He's committed to changing. He's committed to becoming, an elite quarterback that can play for a long time, and I'm seeing him every single day strive to make those changes. So I'm sure that that's just another thing that he's focused on.
Is he going to wear? Remember, you're not old enough, but Steve Grogan, back in the day,
he had a neck roll.
He had the neck roll.
Oh my God! Now the neck roll is ridiculous. Yeah. So I love it. No, he's not doing that. We're doing a lot of great things.
I'm just wondering. I just had to ask because Steve Grogan did it, so I'm wondering: is he going to go the Steve Grogan route? And so, if you ever get a chance,
Steve Grogan, who do you play for?
Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah, 70s and 80s.
Oh, yeah, I was gone. I was born in 88, Big O.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, man, I'm a young cat still.
No, I know.
Old to some, though. Old to some. Yeah, I'm 34, but my knees feel like they're 50.
Right. See, you're just a year older than me and my business.
That's it. And that's it. Hey, listen, you're a legend. You've been doing this for a long time, and I appreciate you inviting me on the show, too. That's honestly, it's a privilege, man. Thank you.
No, it's an honor for me, and I appreciate you taking some time. Of course. So outside of protecting himself.
Yep.
Like last year, you worked on the core. What are the football things you're working on with Tua this offseason?
There's a couple things that we're adding to the plan, and one of them is escapability and learning to get out of harm's way, not really having to extend a play, but just getting out of harm's way so that you can throw the ball away. Another thing that I reminded him of was that he was the number 1 dual threat quarterback in the country coming out of high school. And I want him to put the threat back into dual threat. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you need to be like Justin Fields and break an 80-yard touchdown run. That doesn't mean
Josh Allen. You
don't need to be Jalen Hurts. You don't need to be Josh Allen. But if it's 3rd and 6 and you break the pocket, let's go get those 6 yards.
Right.
Or at least
if there's wide open field, they guys are spread out and it's right there for you. Take a nice slide.
Let's go get it. And or if it's 3rd and 8 and you break outside the pocket, right? And you attempt to run to the sideline or towards the line of scrimmage, and you can bring a linebacker and just dump it over the top. You become a threat, right? You become a threat. And that's kind of what we're focused on, man. A lot of curvy linear speed, running off of different angles on the insteps and the outsteps of the feet, which is really introductory for it, which is what we've been doing. Which is not easy. It's not easy to do. It's a very, very awkward thing to have to run on an arc or have to spin out. I mean, we worked on that escapability a little bit last year. You saw in the Ravens game.
The Ravens.
So, I mean, we literally rep that identical in training. So hopefully the other drills that we're implementing will be just like that. We'll be, copy and paste into the game. But that's really it, man. Just be adding the threat back into dual threat for him.
Nick Hicks joining us, by the way. You can follow him on Twitter at Perform. And remember, the F is a 4.
Yes.
And Perform. So make sure you follow him there. What do you say to the people like myself or anybody else out there? Enlighten us, because you're the pro. We're not. Oh, well, you can't get any faster. You are who you are at this point in your career. There's no way your reflexes are going to get faster. No way he's going to be more quicker.
Yeah.
Talk, educate us on that.
So, there's a lot of trainers out there. There's a lot of trainers out there, and there's a lot of really bad ones, and there's a lot of really good ones, right? For me, it's all about finding the person that understands how to build a needs assessment for you. For example, Devin Singletary. He was in the league for 2 years, really wasn't climbing up and doing things that was expected of him from the organization. So in the offseason, he reached out to me because I had been working with Dalvin and JK. And he's like, man, I got to change something up this offseason. I need to do something. So I told him, I said, I'd love to meet you. Let's chop it up. So I did some research on motor. And watching his tape, he can shake everybody. He can break down every single defender. But in the NFL, as a ball carrier, you need to be moving laterally while also moving linearly, right? You need to get going forward. It's all about gaining yards, not really how can you, shake a guy and break a guy and, break his ankles. You don't need to break down all 11 guys, right? So with him, it was more so not polishing the tool bag, right, of his, I guess you could say juke or running back movement repertoire, but it was also him understanding that while we're moving laterally, we got to move linear. And a lot of the drills that I do are very uncomfortable at first because you're not good at them. We're expecting a lot out of you. The entire offseason, I have a video I think I put on my Instagram of his day one reps to at the end of his first offseason. You can find that on my Instagram. It's pretty remarkable. It's pretty crazy how much better he got. So we're talking about a running back that's in the NFL, that was a draft pick, that's been very, very good for a long time, and he elevated his game over one offseason, right? Same thinking you can say with these pre-draft guys that I'm training right now. I saw somebody, I think it was maybe even Braden Fajoko. He's a defensive lineman for the Chargers. Him and I were kind of talking back and forth on Twitter yesterday, and he said the same thing. Is like these trainers, there's not any trainer in the world that can get you to where you want to go. Yes, there is. It's baseline though, right? Now, can I take any guy off the street and make him run a 4.3 here in Indianapolis? Probably not. No, that's not what we're talking about. But are there?
Then you'd become a miracle worker, not a trainer.
Exactly. I'd be a magician.
Yes.
I'd be a magician. But are there guys that come to me that run, 4.6 and then go run 4.38 in Indy? Absolutely. It happens. And there's a lot of factors that have to do with it. How healthy are they? Right? It's not just training. It's how healthy are they? Are they banged up? Do they need to get healthier? Are they strong? Have they atrophied throughout the entire season? Have they lost a lot of muscle mass? Do they need to get stronger and more explosive? Are they hitting angles properly? Are they attacking angles properly? Do they have a good stance and start? I mean, there's so many factors that go into this, and that's my job to pinpoint which factor are they, less efficient at, and let's make them more efficient. So, again, there's a lot of trainers out there that, for example, will get a high-end client and they'll just throw everything at them. I like to say throw the kitchen sink at them because they just want to show how much they know. But it's not really about that. It's how much can we grow? How much better can we get? You got a guy like Dalvin Cook, who's an all-pro running back. His goal every single offseason is to get 1% better. Not 10% better, it's just 1% better. And it's at certain things, whether it's a little bit of speed, whether it's, sprint endurance, whether it is, attacking a different sweep cut or some kind of other movement, whether it's holding onto the ball, you know what I mean? Really focusing on ball security. Maybe it's catching the ball over the shoulder. He had a couple drops. Maybe he had a couple drops on his wheel route. So it's literally just looking at those things and then creating a plan for them and then executing the plan.
When you talk about Dalvin, he's had his share of injuries too in the past.
Yeah.
And then lately he's been healthier now.
Yep.
Okay, so when we talk about injury history, how much of it is the training? How much of it is just freaking bad luck?
A lot of it's bad luck. A lot of it is playing surfaces. A lot of it is dirty plays. So what you're
saying, it doesn't help to play in New Orleans.
It doesn't help to play in New Orleans. Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got some pretty bad turf. Everyone that I've ever talked to says that their turf is like playing on cement.
You mean Mike Brown didn't spend enough money to? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's funny though because people come at me, right? And Dalvin Cook is out for a week with an ankle injury. Like, we trained to perform. First of all, an ankle injury isn't my fault. And if you do the research, he was actually under the pile and somebody grabbed and twisted his ankle. It was a dirty play, So it's just something that it comes with the territory. When I first got on Twitter and people were talking about, I guess when I was starting to get a little bit of steam going, I guess you could say, and I was doing podcasts, and obviously a guy went on and looked at the entire injury list of all my guys, and every single injury that he had brought up, there wasn't any soft tissue injuries. There wasn't any, torn ligaments. It was contusions, broken ribs, fractured finger,
collisions.
It's football. You know what I mean? Like, we can't do anything about that.
Right.
If a quarterback throws a ball, let's just say it's Tua, throws a ball and he hits his hand on the helmet of a defensive lineman and he has to miss 2 weeks, that's bad luck.
Right.
That's just bad luck. Now, if a receiver that I train, week one is he's running 18-yard dagger and has a non-contact ACL injury, maybe let's look into what he had going on this offseason, But if he runs across the middle, right, and he catches the football and somebody shoots their helmet through his kneecap and it's an AC, that's different.
Right.
Just the risk that they take. Now, I'm not saying that my training is bulletproof and that, it's foolproof where every single player of mine, will not get injured. That's not it. The training that we apply lessens the chances. It makes the risk of injury a whole lot smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
And by the way, Tua didn't have injuries last year. It was the one thing. It was the head trauma stuff that happened, and a lot of Milano. That was a dirty play on Milano.
Yeah,
by him. He didn't have to push him after that. He had to get rid of the ball. Already. Now Milano is a ruthless player. I mean,
he is, man.
He's the guy you want on your team. Man, he's the guy you hate when he's on somebody else's team.
So he is the Draymond Green.
Yes.
Of the NFL. Like, I can't stand Draymond, but if Draymond played for the Miami Heat, oh man, I'd have a Draymond jersey. I would be all Draymond.
A younger Draymond, not this one right now.
Exactly. But you know what I'm saying.
I know.
Milano is so damn good. He's so explosive. He's so fast. And if he was a Miami Dolphin.
He's a quarterback killer, by the way. It's not only Tua, he's injured other quarterbacks.
He is, man. And, dirty, maybe, reckless, absolutely. He just plays like it's his last down, and all the great linebackers that I've ever watched play like that, Luke Kuechly, look at Luke Kuechly. I mean, he played like that, and he had a lot of injuries himself.
Yeah.
Because they literally would just run through a brick wall.
By the way, did you laugh when people were thinking, Tua retire? He's got to leave and it's like, wait a minute. Jordan Reed, I think it's Jordan, right? The Florida tight end that had like 9 concussions. Yeah. Was it Jordan? I don't think it's Jordan. I think I got it wrong. It's Reed. But it's like so many people don't realize that. Like, Tua wasn't the only guy that had a couple concussions this year. There were a whole bunch. Yeah. Kenny Pickett had a couple concussions. Yeah. It's Sidney Crosby. I thought that concussion expert guy, Lewinsky or whatever, that guy's good. Yeah. And how he explained that Sidney Crosby's had like 7, 8, or 9 in his career, and he's working on a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
The key is giving them time to recover And that's where I thought the Dolphins were exceptional at the end of the year.
Agreed.
They didn't even let him start the protocol till after the season was over because that report came out from Schefter. Well, if they advance, there's a chance Tua could play. There was never a chance Tua was going to play. They were going to allow him to heal finally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, they love him, man. They love him. The organization loves him. He loves them. He loves being in Miami. I don't think that there's a scenario that he could ever find better for himself. And he knows who has his back. You know what I mean? And the people that have his back are the only ones that really matter anyways.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, you nailed it on the head. They're taking care of him, because they love him deeper than the quarterback position. They love him as a person. They love him as a kid. They just, the entire organization loves him, man. So, which is,
hey, we haven't had one here since Marino.
Yeah. And, I'll be honest with you, man.
We need to make this work because I don't know how they're going to get another one. And I know this kid is a left-handed Montana.
Yeah.
I know he's a left-handed Montana. We just got to keep him healthy, and he's got to do his part too to stay healthy and not hang on to the ball too long.
Yep.
And sky's the limit. Dude.
Yeah. Yep. He knows that. He knows that.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Nick, thank you, my brother.
No, I appreciate you, Big O.
Big
Any
time.
other time, brother. Okay.
I think we talked. I said about 15, 20 minutes, and it's 40. So
no, we're good, man. You're good.
But
I do have to get some other stuff out here. I'm in Indianapolis, and I've got meetings with coaches and scouts, and I have to go work with our guys, and it's definitely a hectic time of the year. But when I saw you in the airport, I 100% wanted to talk to you, and I've been a big fan of you, and I have appreciated your support. These last couple of years that. Support not only of Tua, but also of me. You've had my back as well on here. So I do appreciate that, my brother.
Hey, I got your back, bro. I'm here for it, man. I appreciate you, Nick.
Thank you.
I'll catch you later on. I'm sure.
All right, big O. Take care, man. Yep.
Be good, baby. There you go. Nick Hicks. Follow him on Twitter at Perform. And instead of an F, it's a 4. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. I thought it was pretty informative. And you got some good insight on what's going on. Knight, by the way, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Dog saw Herbert's playoff game and mirrored it. That was good. That was good. And that was really good by Nick Hicks. Do we get a thumbs up there? How's that? How is it on the – make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. Am I getting a thumbs up for the interview? Is it all right? How was that? Huh? Did I ask pretty much everything you need? Let's see. What do we got here? Thanks, Nick. Yes, sir. Cap for life. Great session. Big O. Great interviews from Lofi. Nick is a good sport, bro. A thumbs up from Myers. Okay, there we go. Lep loved it. Floyd. All right. There we go. I like it. All right. There we go. All right. People are happy. It's hard to make you people happy. So we made you happy there. All right. Good stuff. And if you missed the interview with Skyler yesterday, go check it out. I thought it went pretty well with Skyler. And that one, too, I told him about 15 minutes and it ended up 30. It's just you get going and there's a lot of good things to talk about and highlight and focus in on. And for me, it's just craziness what's going on with Tua at times. I just don't think he gets treated fairly, to be quite honest. Don't forget our friends at Hialeah Park are giving away a beautiful Mercedes-Benz, a brand new Mercedes-Benz. They've got it there at Hialeah Park. It's right there parked. The more you play the machines, the more entries you get, and they've got hundreds of machines there. It's a smoke-free environment, second floor poker room, folks. Go check it out, hialeahpark.com. Just had the boxing event last week. It was awesome. It was a great night of boxing. The place was packed. Really good buzz, too, man. But if you want to try to win a Mercedes, get on out there to Hialeah Park and just every time you play those games, man, You get another entry in there. So go to Hialeah Park and check that out. They got great food, a great environment. They got the Champions Sports Bar, where you can also wager on any track in the country. So check it out at hialeahpark.com. We'll be there next Thursday having some fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think somebody reminded me that Greta Van Fleet is next week at the Hard Rock. I'm looking forward to that. All right, I'm still getting love. Thumbs up from the UK. Even in the UK, they enjoyed that video. You know it's special when they enjoyed it in the UK. And King Short says Skyler was awesome too. I thought Skyler was terrific too. I thought he was that was a good interview with him. Let's see. Public subs and a good conversation can't get any better, says Cat for Life. Knight says, you could tell Nick really truly cares more like a father or an uncle, not just a client. Tua found the best dude possible. He should. He should, because he has a serious interest in his success. And so I think that what's the word I'm looking for? The oh God, when there's that connection. But anyway, it's got to be like you're almost tethered, like an umbilical cord. You know what I mean? It should be that way if you're the trainer for a professional player, because his success is depending on your preparation for him. You know what I mean? So there has to be that symbiotic. That's what I was looking for. There has to be that symbiotic connection between the two. And you should care like a parent, like an uncle, like a brother, and like a blood brother. You know what I mean? That's how it should be, because it's such an important connection to what you're doing. If you're a personal chef for an athlete, I think you got to take the same kind of approach. That it's got to be a fatherly, brotherly type of guidance to it, because you're using your expertise to help this person achieve their maximum. But they don't know your business. They don't know exactly what to do to train. They don't know exactly what to do to cook and to work on certain parts of your diet and things like that. So there has to be that symbiotic connection between the two. So yeah, there's no doubt. You got to have it. Skyler has his head on straight, and his attitude about others in life is way beyond his age. Yes. Yeah, he was very good yesterday. He was very good. So if you missed that interview, you should check it out. It's there on the platform for you all. Let's see. You act like becoming the number one passer in the league is easy. Oh, somebody, I guess Knight is responding to somebody out there. Yeah, no, of course. Anybody that thinks the number one, I'm with you, Knight. Anybody that downplays the number one rated pass, yeah, we have them all the time here in Miami. All our quarterbacks do it. Jay Cutler did it. John Beck did it. Yeah, no, of course. Jay Fiedler did it. Ray Lucas did it. Everybody's done it. Everybody's the number one rated passer in the NFL. Yeah. No, all our quarterbacks are in the top categories of the NFL all the time. Always. Completion percentage, deep ball completion percentage, the amount of deep balls thrown. Yeah, no, everything. Yeah, all of our quarterbacks do that. We don't struggle to get quarterbacks here in Miami, ever. God, we've had so many great ones since Marino. Yeah, anybody that downplays that, I mean, it's got. There's that the hate in you is so bad that you're downplaying that. That is absolutely insane. I like how he said they were working on extending plays, not necessarily running. Yeah, but I love the part that he talked about, and I want Tua to do this. Okay, things break down sometimes. And sometimes there's just open field in front of the quarterback where all you have to do is just run the ball for a couple yards and slide and just take what they give you. I don't mind him doing that. You know what I mean? I just want him to make quick decisions and not hold on to the ball and put himself at mercy of some big fat dude that is just looking at you like a brontosaurus burger and is going to just absolutely wallop you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would like to avoid for Tua, because he just can't afford to do that. You're going to get hit already as it is. And normally he survives all those normal hits. But it's those extra hits that when he's holding on to the ball too long, that's where all the injuries come from. The only injury that didn't come from holding on to the ball too long, you know which one it was? Jesse Davis. When he messed up his ribs, that was right on the snap. The guy just got past Jesse Davis, and that could happen to any quarterback getting nailed there, and you hurt your ribs. I mean, look at Purdy. Purdy got nailed, and then the elbow was done. Is that Purdy's fault? No, dude, you got freaking walloped. You know, it is what it is. It can happen to any quarterback. If your offensive tackle does not lay a hand on the defender on the snap, you know, that werewolf is coming around the corner at blazing speeds, and he's going to nail the hell out of your quarterback. And he's going to put your quarterback in a concussion or broken ribs or a jammed elbow or whatever it is that you're going to suffer. That's normal. Speaking of chefs, you've been cooking with gas these last 2 interview catches. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Hopefully more to come. When Tua started the year singing the Rock How True, what was that? It was a team started not to fall for him looking off to safety, and that's a whole bunch of crap, by the way. That all you're doing is repeating what another idiot said. It has nothing to do with any of that. Had to do with them crowding the middle of the field, and they were kind of reading what they were doing. It has nothing to do with them figuring out him looking off and those kind of things. He's fine in that area. I'm not worried about that. Skyler is older than Austin Jackson by 2 years. Everyone wants Skyler to succeed, but Austin Jackson to kick rocks. Shaking my head. I'm not ready to give up on Austin Jackson or Liam Eichenberg. And I know that's like, what are you talking about, O? I'm not ready. I gave up on Noah Igbenogany. You know, I'm done with that kid. He's completely lost. But I saw that Austin Jackson last year in training camp in the preseason was actually showing improvement. The rest of his year was just bad luck with that high ankle injury. And if anybody's had a high ankle injury, and if you're a 300-pounder and a high ankle injury, healing that thing up and then keeping it healthy for the rest of the season, it was hard for him. It was hard. And for me, it was more bad luck. And I know that Austin has not played well, but last year he started to show some signs. So I need this year to convince myself that he's not the guy, that he has no chance at being a guy. Because maybe he still can become a starter, or maybe he can become a really key backup for you or something. He can still be a contributor. I know that's not what you want as a first rounder, a key backup. I'd love for him to be the starter, but I'd like for him to get one more chance healthy. Liam Eichenberg, I'm going to go off of what was said inside the building. I haven't necessarily seen it, but they felt right before he got injured that last time that he was turning some corner. I'm telling you, I've never heard them so adamant about a guy than Liam Eichenberg on the offensive line when I was, and they're like telling me, you're wrong. You're wrong. He was playing better. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt there. Because guys like Frank Smith and Mike McDaniel, they're no dummies, bro. They know offensive line play. So they must have seen something with the guy. Okay? So I'm willing to give them another chance, and see if they really don't have it. And if that's the case, then we'll find out. By the way, remember, we will be at Kilroy's today at 5:30. For those of you that live here in Indianapolis or you work in the Indy downtown area, we're going to be there at Kilroy's at 5:30 today. So hopefully I can meet some of you out there that support the show. Ed reached out to me from Red Recover. The 30% sale expired, but they will in the next, it's already up. The 30% discount will be available to all. Now, we want to tell you guys that sometime before the end of the month, within the next 2 to 4 weeks, they will transition to only selling canine dog wraps on the website. So if they want 30% on the human wraps, they need to do it soon. So it'll only be the canine wraps that will be 30% off. So do it right now. If you want to go to redrecover.com, go in there. He says they will honor any purchases for human wraps for the full 1-year warranty. And should they want to purchase human wraps in the future, they can email us directly since they are existing customers. But we are actually doing better with the dog sales. So that's why they want to focus on that. Okay. A lot of us love our dogs. We take care of our dog. I have the wraps for my dogs. I put them on, every couple of days. I put them on for them. They don't have any hip issues, but I do want to be preventive. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing that. So there you go. Wow, Chewy's going to be putting the products online. How about that, baby? Yeah, they should, man. There's such. I got to take advantage of the human wraps while they last. You guys are missing out. Some of you may not be believing it, but wow, I'm telling you. Thomas Jensen, Big O is by far the #1 interviewer on YouTube. Well, that's very nice of you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. I enjoy what I do. I do it with a passion. That's what Sean and I do every single freaking day. And so that's why we ask you to support us and support our sponsors who support our platform so we can make these things happen every day. Hit the like button, follow us, hit the subscribe button. All of these things, man. Make a donation, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. All of these things will help us grow. If you want us to last, if you want us to grow even more, we definitely need your support. And by the way, help us get to 20,000, man. It has slowed since football season. So let's do it. And it hasn't helped that the Heat and the Panthers are not sexy at all. I will say that. That has been kind of rough. Let's see. What's the product that helps with? Oh, it's the hat. Devin, you need to email them. They're about to get the FDA to approve the new hat, okay? Because they got a new hat, not the lights inside. It's all the same. But the FDA has to approve if you change the hat. It's the weirdest thing. The lights aren't changing. That's all the same. But the hat has to be approved because they wanted a better hat. And so you better email them now and get into the waiting list and tell them that you want the hat to grow your hair. Now, remember, Devin, I want to make sure I don't mislead anybody because I never like to do that. I stay brutally honest, as always. If you're now losing your hair and it's recent, okay, that's where I think the hat has a chance at working. If you've lost your hair for years and years and years, it's going to be, I'm not saying it's impossible because you never know. Anything is possible. But I just, like for me, like these things here, they really haven't grown back. Like here, it's grown back. This area here is growing back, okay? But this area here, all right, that has not grown back. And I've been using it for, over a year now. I've been using the Red Recover. So, I've been using it for a while. And so this stuff is growing back, but I recently started losing this. And that's why it happened in the last, year or two, where I started, developing the human yarmulke. So make sure it's recent hair loss. And by the way, the rest of my hair is growing even thicker. Okay, so the bald spot started to get unbald, and then everything else is actually growing even more. So that's the cool part too, that your hair will get fuller. You will notice that. At least that's what's happened with me. So just in case, I just want to make sure, because there might be people out there, oh, dude, I've been bald forever. I can wear this hat and and look like oh no, you're not gonna grow out the locks, bro. Okay, once we go bald, we're probably going to stay bald. Okay, but if it's just starting to, that's where you might be able to save it. Okay, just want to make sure. I want to be clear. All right. Hey, you can try. Maybe it's been balding for a while, and maybe it works. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's more unlikely for long-term bald people. Okay, just want you to know. Big O, you are looking more and more like Fabio. I should dye my hair blonde. Yeah, but I'm a fat Fabio, so I'm the double F. Because wasn't Fabio like in great shape and all that? Yeah. Maybe I should try. Maybe I should have Nick Hicks take on the challenge of building back me. It's kind of what I need. I need a trainer who's willing to take on a project. Because, bro, if they can mold me, can you imagine that? That's a selling point for anybody. They show them the before pictures of my ass now, and then you get me in shape. My God, it's crazy. Let's take a quick break. We are at the top of the hour number 3 of the Big O Radio Show, live from Indianapolis, site of the NFL Combine. Rolls on.
You're tuning into the best NFL draft coverage for Miami Dolphins and NFL fans. It's the EJDconstruction.com off-season NFL draft tour. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
With the 42nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select...
The Big O Radio Show hits the road with the EJDconstruction.com off-season NFL Draft Tour, presented by SportsGrill.com. Your home for the NFL Draft with 8 great locations in South Florida. Here's your host, Big O.
Hour number 3, baby, live from Indianapolis. We had Tua's trainer, Nick Hicks, on in hour number 2, and he was fantastic. If you missed that, it was about 38 minutes of some great insight. So make sure you check it out. Obviously, it was pretty much all about Tua. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that to Skyler yesterday. You know that I've seen too many people that they bring on. Or you walk up to, or you do an interview with Teddy Bridgewater, or you do an interview with Skyler, and half the questions are about Tua. And I find that to be disrespectful, actually. You know what I mean? And so yesterday when we had Skyler on, it was about Skyler. You know, we talked about the Dolphins and we talked about Skyler and the playoffs and different things, but it wasn't about, hey, let me ask this quarterback about Tua. One day, I hope. You know, I'm going to try to get Tua on, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll see. It's not the easiest thing, but if there's, put it this way, if there's a media member he should do an interview with, okay, it's yours truly over anybody he did interviews with in the Super Bowl week, okay? But whatever. It is what it is. But, you know, one day we'll make it happen, and we'll bring to. But I get it. He's kind of to himself, and it's cool. It's cool. I can show my support from where I'm at on this platform and do my part. By the way, King Shore says, everybody has a plan until life hits them in the mouth. Amen to that. Amen to that. And boy, life knows how to hit you in the mouth over and over and over and over again, man. And you better be tough in this life. That's for damn sure. Let's see. I will be your Mickey, Big O. I'll have you eating lightning and crapping thunder. Are you like a trainer cap for life? Is that it? That's very nice of you. If you are a trainer, or you're just joking and you just want to kill me. If Tua can get better at extending plays and be able to throw accurately on the run, he can throw accurately on the run. Watch out. That's what separates Mahomes and Rodgers from other QBs. He throws accurately from any platform. So I disagree with you on that. If he's rolling out, he can throw. Now, is he what he's not ever going to be Mahomes. That's not fair to him. You know, it's kind of like what I told Marcel. It's not really who he is, that he's just going to be using his legs all the time. It's, I think what Nick and what Tua are doing is preparing themselves so they can be a little better at using that than they normally do. Oh, he's ready to go. All right, let's do it. It is time. Let's go, baby. Umar Kelly, baby, and our Essential Moving Experts.com Miami Dolphins report.
Time to talk aqua and orange, Miami Dolphins fans. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Omar Kelly. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. 305-602-8369. Let's talk Dolphins football. Here's Omar Kelly.
All right. There you are. How you feeling, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm sorry, I'm not in a place where I've got Wi-Fi access, so I'm here in the car trying to hold it down, make sure you don't have any interruptions.
All right, no, it sounds good. Was the daughter's birthday yesterday good?
Yeah, man. I'm just enjoying every little moment of her learning and developing and talking. We're actually planning a smaller birthday party later on in March. It's just a joy to do it. I got a 21-year-old, for those who don't know. I got a stepdaughter who's 30, 21-year-old, and now my 2-year-old. And it's such a joy to do it when you kind of have an understanding of what it's about and the moments that you'll enjoy and remember later.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cute watching the social media posts with her there, enjoying the day yesterday. Let me bounce around a little bit on the NFL side before I go to the Dolphins. Michael Irving ended up winning in court that they're releasing the video. This thing smells like, I don't know how much you've been following it. Like Marriott's been wanting to throw it out of court. They don't want to release the video. You know, now they're forced to release the video after 2 judges now have forced them to, because they took it to another judge. And Marriott is even like not taking responsibility, like saying, well, they only use our name in this hotel, you know, that kind of stuff. And I kind of feel bad for Michael Irving right now. You know what I mean? Because if he did commit a crime or whatever, he was insulting to that woman, and you're Marriott, you want to show the video, right? I mean, why is such hesitation? It just smells dirty, dude. You know what I'm saying? I might be wrong, but it just, you know.
I don't know what the real situation is on this incident, but what I do know is we never scream somebody's innocence as loud as we scream about their guilt. And, you know, that man could potentially have lost his career again, because this is probably the time number 3. He could have potentially lost his career. And it's not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to even the woman. Let's let the legal process play itself out. Now, why Marriott doesn't want to get involved, but there are cameras everywhere, and you would think the cameras are there to protect from a crime or prevent a crime, or to prove somebody's guilt or innocence in regards to a crime. So this is something that literally blows my mind.
I feel bad. And listen, Michael has the same energy he had the last time he was innocent, that the media went after him. And I don't know if you remember that moment where he says, all right, use the same energy you used to say I'm guilty. And he was like calling out the media at that moment, and he was innocent. And you know how it is, Omar. When you're innocent, you'll scream to high heaven. You'll stand on every mountain, on every building, and say, I'm innocent. You know what I mean?
If your lawyers allow you. Allow you.
Right. But the lawyers and Michael have done nothing but that. Like, they have been adamant about this. That's why, to me, when I see the delay on the other side, the people making the accusations, that's like, I just found it kind of weird. The other one is Jalen Carter is back at the combine now after this DUI mess and crash that killed a couple of people. Your thoughts on this whole thing? Because this is a guy that was, he's considered one of the, if not the top pick in the draft, at least top 3.
My thoughts are, why does this come to a head the week of the NFL Combine? I think that's foul. Now, it's not like the incident just happened. Also, on top of that, I'm a little bit troubled and perplexed as to why people are pretending like, oh, this is going to absolutely tank his draft stock. I don't really care. It doesn't matter, and neither should his draft stock. He's going to be selected relatively high, and he's going to have the opportunity to play in the NFL, and his career is going to be made on his performance. But, it's a slow news cycle, so everybody's making a tremendously big deal about this. Should he have returned to the Combine? Absolutely, because it's a major job interview, and there are 32 teams who are curious and want to hear from him in regards to what he has to say on the matter.
Right, yeah. No, and I know he was racing with them, so he might have been a contributor, but he wasn't necessarily the one that crashed the car, and obviously, people died. So I get the technicalities behind it, but it is, hey, listen, it reminds us of the Leo Collins story back in the day when he was accused of murder or something, I think it was, and he wasn't, and he was innocent. And yet his draft stock went down from, what was it, like the 5th or 6th round from the first round, I think? If I remember correctly, right?
No. Leo Collins went undrafted. I remember I was begging Steve Ross to draft him, and their fear was that, the media is going to come down on us. Right. I'm like, no, I'm the media. I'm not going to come down on you. Draft him in the 3rd day.
And by the way, if I remember correctly, I think Tannenbaum worked for the agency that was representing Collins, right? Before he took the Dolphins job, right?
Correct. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. So that was crazy, and he was innocent at that time from all of that. All right, prediction time, Omar. Lamar Jackson wants a fully guaranteed contract, as much as what Deshaun Watson got, or maybe even more. Will Lamar Jackson end up with a fully guaranteed contract, or will he end up tagged and held out and holding out?
He'll end up tagged. He won't receive a fully guaranteed contract, even though I think the Ravens do good business. I just don't think they want to set the precedence. Nobody in the NFL wants to set the precedence of fully guaranteed contracts for players. Deshaun Watson and Kirk Cousins are the only ones outside of rookies who've ever gotten it done. And if it's going to be done, it's going to be done by the quarterbacks. But people don't realize is there is no, excuse me 1 second, I'm signing something. What people don't realize is that there is only, in the NBA and in Major League Baseball and in the NHL, there's nothing in their CBAs, collective bargaining agreement, that says that players must have fully guaranteed contracts. It is the culture of those leagues which has been dictated over time that has created those environments for the players and their contracts. Now, unfortunately, the players, players in the NFL, they have not been allowed the opportunity because agents have not done what they needed to do, their due diligence, to get to that level of getting fully guaranteed contracts. But it has to be the quarterbacks. Russell Wilson has twice failed when it was his opportunity to get a fully guaranteed contract. The Patrick Mahomes could have gotten a fully guaranteed contract. He got $500 million, so I'm not even going to complain about that one.
Yeah. But by the way, that contract has become cap friendly.
Yeah, no, because of the way that it was structured, and it's like $500 million. So
I hate to say it this way, but it's only $40 million a year for him.
Yeah, no, and he's won 2 championships. I think you're going to pay whatever you're going to pay. The same thing could be said about Buffalo's quarterback. He was in position to get a fully guaranteed contract. Nobody did it for him as well. So it's very uncomfortable for me to like sit here and say that, hey, I don't count their pockets, but they got to understand it's got to be the culture of the league. And I support Lamar in his efforts. I know, and I've dealt with Lamar, and I've dealt with his moms through I'm Athlete. And trust me, she's a hard negotiator, and she's a very good businesswoman. And and Lamar is driving the business end of it. So he's determined to get what he feels like he deserves. And I'm very encouraged by what's happening here. Yes, everybody can sit here and debate that he doesn't deserve a fully guaranteed contract, but they got to understand he deserves more than what the next man got, and the next man is Deshaun Watson. So if he deserves more than what Deshaun Watson got, that's just the price of doing business in the NFL. That's the nature of the league.
That's why I asked you this way, because I believe also, like you do, he's not going to get a fully guaranteed contract, and I think he's going to get tagged. But I really believe that he's going to end up holding out.
Yeah, he probably is.
Yeah. Okay. So you feel the same way, that he's not. I think it's so bitter, the situation now with him, and he's kind of locked into, well, wait a minute, if they gave him a fully guarantee, I deserve one too, and I've accomplished more than Deshaun Watson, right? I know that's what he's saying, but I almost feel like this thing's going to get pretty ugly between these two very soon.
It probably will, but I mean, this is the price of doing business, and I think he'll hold out. And it'll be interesting to see what happens, what comes from it. But that's just the nature of the league. It's about business. If you're going to sit here and you're going to argue that he doesn't deserve a fully guaranteed contract, that's not fair.
Yeah, but Omar, Deshaun Watson didn't deserve a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You don't think he deserves a fully guaranteed?
Deshaun Watson?
Or not?
No.
Oh, Deshaun didn't. Deshaun didn't.
That's my point. To use the guy that set the precedent when the precedent was set with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem there. And I think that's what everybody else is going to use as the example. Say, yeah, we get that he got a guaranteed contract, but nobody in their right mind would have given him a guaranteed contract. That was just stupid business by the Browns. That's basically what the other teams are saying about this. Basically, you know what I'm saying?
All it takes is one team. Let's say you're going to get paid what the market is going to determine that you're worth. Mm-hmm. Let's say they don't give him the exclusive franchise tag, which I think would be ridiculous. But then I also think it would be smart, because then you give another team an opportunity to negotiate the contract for you, and potentially you can get him on what the market feels is market value. And now the question is, if you don't want to pay that market value, then you're going to get compensation for him. I personally would not give him the exclusive rights tag. I would give him the tender that will allow me to get compensation for him, even though a quarterback's extremely hard to replace. If I'm not in love with him, then that's the reality of it. And then I'd let the market determine what he's worth, and then I'd sign him to whatever somebody negotiates him, because what people don't realize is you have a right of first refusal. So if they offer him, let's say If they offer him a fully guaranteed contract, then okay, the market determined he's worth a fully guaranteed contract, and I'm going to sign him to that.
Right.
If they offer him something short of what the market guarantees because of the injury or the style of play or the durability concerns, I'm going to sign him to that. There's no way that I'm going to let him go. And if he wants to play on the franchise tag, so be it. If he doesn't want to play, then he's going to sit out. Then he's going to not have a year's toll. And basically, we're going to be here again next year. So,
all right. No, I'm with you there. All right, let's move on to Tua because I got somebody coming up at 12:30 here. Yesterday, McDaniel, obviously Chris Greer talked about, everything is open on the table. And I'm trying to explain to people, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this. They said like, hey, we're everything's on the table long term. We're still talking about the 5th-year option or whatever. And I think for me, it's more about just spreading the love to Tua and his agent and everybody else. Like, hey, we believe in him, we love him, and all that. But there really is no shot they give him a long-term deal. I think that was just Chris Greer just, reiterating how much they believe in the guy, that they believe in him so much that sure, anything is on the table. The same thing as they tell you, oh, no, we don't turn down Mike Gesicki if he wants to come back, or Byron Jones, or we got to let Vic Fangio figure that out. Byron ain't coming back. Gesicki ain't coming back. And Tua has no shot right now at getting a long-term contract. Do you agree on all of those?
I disagree. I'm going to have the conversation. I'm going to have the dialogue. I'm probably going to put a 70 cents on the dollar offer on the table, explain why that's what it is. If he chooses to take it, so be it. I remember going back to the Ryan Tannehill when he was getting his 5th-year option, and then they wound up extending him, which I thought was the worst decision ever by the organization. And, it was like $98 million. And I thought at no point was he ever going to sign a contract until he had proven himself. And Tua, at this point, is more deserving of a contract than Ryan Tannehill is, of a big money contract than Ryan Tannehill is.
Well, because he proves that he can be a real franchise quarterback. You're right. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
But the layup, the easy decision is sign into a 5th-year option, say, hey, we'll revisit this in a year, but you got $26 million guaranteed coming to you next year. Altogether, throughout your career, you'll have made nearly $60 million. I think that's pretty good for 5 years.
Right.
It's fair, and we'll revisit this if you're the best player in the league, we'll pay you like you're the best player in the league. And if you're proven that you have durability concerns, we'll probably decide that we want to move on from you after the 5th year. So I don't see how that's not a layup, but I definitely have the conversation with them to see where their thought process is, because you got to keep in mind, the price is only going to go up if he's who we think he is.
Of course, right. If he stays healthy, then the price will get really scary. Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah,
Right.
the price is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
If Tua just flat out replicates what he did last year, the price is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And stays healthy.
Right.
Let's say you're the number one passer in the league, and you led your team to the playoffs, and you stay healthy for an entire season. You're talking $300 million, $260
$50 million a year. Yeah, they'll be paying $50 a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I'm with you there.
Why not try to get ahead of it? Not to say that you could sit here, and whether you are a Tua hater, Tua supporter, Tua non-member, you can flat out say whatever you want to justify whatever decision that you have. But the truth of the matter is, we will know who Tua is at the end of the 2023 season. And
and it's interesting you say offer a deal at 70 cents a dollar. Maybe Tua and the agents think, you know what, let's take some guarantees now and protect ourselves just in case, because a year from now, if you do suffer injuries, you already have your deal in place. If
you're protected. Yeah,
you're protected. So there might be I don't think they'll do it because Tua's kind of driven to prove people wrong. So I think he's going to drive to try to be healthy this year and prove to people he can have a complete year and all that kind of crap.
All it takes is one bad hit.
No, I know. I know. But he is.
But ultimately he'll get $26 million, and trust me, that should be enough money to take care of your family for a lifetime.
I'm with you there. I did think that Greer gave a little nugget yesterday, which normally you don't hear a lot of stuff, but he said that they would be interested in safety and linebacker. And obviously with Fangio coming in, it's more important than ever to have safeties and linebackers that can cover. So we've talked a lot about Brandon Jones possibly being at risk here because Brandon got better in coverage, but maybe not to the elite point that Vic Fangio needs both of his safeties to be at. So were you surprised that the general manager would say already, like, we could be interested in safeties and linebackers?
No, I think even if you have Brandon Jones on the roster, you're still exploring safeties and linebackers. I think Eric Rowe's a free agent as well. And you know how me and you, we go back and forth about Brandon Jones all the time. Coverage wise, he's never going to be good. So,
but he got better last year. He got better.
Okay, you ignored the sentence that I said. Coverage wise, he's never going to be good. GOOD. He got better.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give you give up on him. I'm not ready to give up on the young man.
I'm evaluating him based on what his teammates tell me. So he's just not going to be that player that you think. I think it's an easy upgrade. It's an easy upgrade. You know who I'm thinking about. It's the young man who already said he wants to play.
He wants to be here. Yeah, no, he really wants to be down here.
Yeah, no, he trains at Bomberitos. I see him every offseason. Yeah. He's here. He loves South Florida. South Florida Buffalo. South Florida Buffalo.
No, he wants Miami. That's for sure. Yes.
Absolutely. I say this all the time. 40% of the league lives down here in the offseason. Like 40, but not down here, but in Florida. Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami, South Florida. 40% of the league lives in Florida. 40%. That means you are going to have a great opportunity to land a lot of the top free agents, including a Poyer. And you just got to be creative enough to get it done if you want to get it done.
Poyer and Bobby Wagner?
I don't know. I think the Bobby Wagner Express has left.
Really? God, I like that one because that's only a 1 or 2 year deal. So
but I would rather go after the Levante David than Bobby Wagner.
Okay, that's another older linebacker. That's a 1 or 2 year deal. You're right. You're right about that.
I would rather go that route, or get a young linebacker.
You can't get Poyer and Edmonds. No, they're not going to be able to pay Wilkins. Sealer.
I said a younger linebacker.
You mean like in the second and third round picks?
Yeah. I'm not shy about drafting a linebacker. And keep in mind also the trade market, and we don't know what teams are bartering and what we'll find out after the combine. We'll find out what linebackers are on the trading block, just like many linebackers that Miami's traded for when they traded for Bernard McKinney, and you'll things will pop free. We'll know shortly, and I think the Dolphins will be aggressive. If Chris Greer strategically put those positions out, then he's like, it's very obvious. I'm already talking to free agents about this. Like we're being very transparent. And I would love to add a safety because I think the young man that's back there now, if you free him up to do coverage and you have a guy like Poyer who could do everything, it's going to be magnificent.
Holland and Poyer would be, God, it would be an incredible duo right there. All right.
But even more important than safety, I think you got to address the other cornerback position.
Yes, I think they will. Although I think Kohu will be part of it, but that's where I think the second and third round picks come in. I think they could get another corner there.
I don't know if I want to take the risk of getting a Noah Igbenogany. I'm sorry.
No. Kader Kohu, bro. Kader Kohu's the guy.
He's all right.
He played fantastic for a young man, bro. He did a great job. He could get better too. I like the kid. His mental makeup he's special, bro. That kid's built the right way. All right, follow him on Twitter. Omar, as always, I appreciate you. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch him every week here, of course, with our essentialmovingexperts.com Miami Dolphins exchange. Omar, we'll catch up next week, my friend. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Thank you. That is your Miami Dolphins exchange.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Omar Kelly. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services, or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms and keep up with your favorite NFL team.
Maybe we are back here at the Combine, the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. We'll be hitting the streets and the bars tonight to get some information. But before we do that, I hope I don't butcher his name. Nick Wery is ready to join us. He is going to be competing in wingsforwishesmiami.com. Nick, did I pronounce it right?
It was close enough. It's Weary, but that's cool.
Weary, okay. A little weary, okay. That's what I would be if I was up against you in an eating contest. I'm very weary, okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
And by the way, why is it that in eating contest it's the skinny guys that dominate? Why isn't it the fat guys that dominate in eating contests? That's to me, that is amazing. How is it that you guys stretch your stomachs a hell of a lot better than the big fat guys like me? In other words, like, I'm not a good eater, bro. Like, I eat throughout the day, but I can't sit and eat as much as you do in one sitting. There's no way I can do that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't condone the behavior, but I would say sometimes a combination of a handful of things. Maybe heavier guys are enjoying the food a little bit more than we are. Trying to put it away quick. And there's some theories behind it. I know personally, I feel better when I'm lighter because I was about 30 pounds heavier when I started competitive eating, coming from a bodybuilding background, and the heavier weight, it just didn't seem to allow my stomach to expand. Like there was almost a belt around it, where when I'm lighter and feel better, I kind of breathe more efficiently. I feel a little bit better. I move a little bit faster. So, being in the gym and being in good shape just kind of helps me at the table, I guess, mentally and physically. So
you don't have a six-pack? Because the six-pack gets in the way of the stomach? Is that what you're telling me?
I have, even when I was bodybuilding, I had 4, and then I had, a 5-pack. So it's there, but I'm trying to push it out further and further to allow for more hot dogs and chicken wings.
All right, so what the hell made you get into this? Like, what was the watershed moment that said, oh, I can do this? Because I got to know, how did this whole thing start, dude?
So I did competitive bodybuilding for about 11 years. I was a baseball player, went to college and realized that I was lacking talent and ability. And then went to bodybuilding, fell in love with that, did it for a long time. And then after my second child, my son was born, I'm like, I kind of want to be around, for the next, 40, 50 years, whatever. Bodybuilding had kind of taken a turn to be a little bit less healthy at that point. And so I needed a competitive outlet. And my appetite had become a running joke amongst my friends. I'd go to Wendy's and get 6 or 7 sandwiches and 3 or 4 fries and a few Frosties. And they're like, dude, that's not normal. And I'm like, yeah, it was fine. It's perfectly okay. And they encouraged me to enter a punch eating contest, like the Polish jelly donuts around Fat Tuesday. I didn't want to, but they said I could win money and raise money for charity, and I got free donuts. And I won handily. And from there, it just kind of spiraled into somebody suggested I do a hot dog practice. And I said, what is a hot dog practice? And my first one I ever did, I got 26 hot dogs and buns, not knowing what I was doing. And Jeff Esper, who's actually ranked second in the world, he's like, hey, you might think about trying this. You kind of have some ability here. And I'm not good at half doing things. So now we're here.
Okay. Just so you'll know, 2 weeks ago, I'm coming back from the Senior Bowl, and I stopped at a Dairy Queen on the side of the road there, and I got a hot dog, and that thing had me for 2 weeks, in the porcelain throne. I was praying to the porcelain throne for about 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah.
Oh God. At least the hot dogs you're eating are good. Don't ever eat at a Dairy Queen at a road stop somewhere in the Panhandle. Okay, that's yes. Those aren't the ones you want to eat. All right, stay away from those, Nick. All right, and by the way, if you want to join and want to be out at wingsforwishesmiami.com, folks, right now, if you're listening, we will give you 20% off discount tickets if you want to chime in and you want to go to this great event. There's all kinds of great food, all kinds of great drinks. The money's going to charity. You're going to make a wish happen for a youngster out there that is going through some really tough times. You know, not like what you did today, that you got stuck in traffic or you forgot something at home and you think life is the worst. No, these kids are going through some real tough times, and Make-A-Wish does a lot for it. And Wings for Wishes, go to wingsforwishesmiami.com to find out more and use our code Big O so you can get 20% discount on your tickets. It's a great event this weekend. So Nick, let me ask you something. Brother, food prices are pretty expensive right now. How are you practicing and staying sharp, man?
It's tough. You know, luckily for me, our last contest was pistachios. I just took home that title last weekend. And
you would have to mortgage your house if it was eggs.
My eggs, that was tough because I have the record, the short form record for eggs of 50 in 3 minutes, hard boiled eggs. But it was, it would be tough. You know, if I was eating as many eggs when I was bodybuilding right now, I'd probably have to get a second mortgage on the house. But yeah, doing pistachios, the wonderful company sent us some, to practice with. So that kind of helped. And for chicken wings, it's tough because if I was to go out and buy 200 chicken wings to practice with, that's going to run a pretty penny. So I grabbed a few dozen and just kind of ran through like, okay, let's remember how to do this. As crazy as that may sound to people, you want it to be second nature, when you're in the moment. So tried to emulate the awesome smoked wings, smoked grilled wings we're going to get from Sports Grill down there in Miami. And
they're so good.
Yeah, they're ridiculously good. It's hard not to just eat them slowly, but it'll be an awesome time. I'm excited. I think the practice went pretty well. There's a little air of confidence after coming off the win last weekend, so I'm excited for the contest.
All right, so let me ask you, you're not eating boneless wings, right? You're eating regular wings.
I am not eating sauced chicken nuggets.
Okay.
No. I am eating real wings with the bone in. Don't get me wrong. Boneless wings or sauced nugs are a delicious food. I will never turn them. But they, in my opinion, they are not a chicken wing, just like hot dog is not a sandwich.
Right. No, I'm 1,000% with you. But the practicing again with wings, don't you worry about bones and stuff? And that's the kind that might get me a little nervous that you got to eat it fast. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you eat fish. Boy, you eat that shit slow because you're afraid of getting one of those scales in there. You're like, you're chewing extra when you're eating the fish just to make sure there isn't anything there. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's a little dangerous, dude. Like hot dogs, you don't have to worry about it. Donuts, you don't have to worry about it. Eggs, you don't have to worry about it. But chicken wings, dude,
you gotta be
concerned.
A little bit, a little bit cautious. Especially like with the grilled wings, they'll be obviously a little bit. The bones will be a little bit more dry than the ones that are fried and then sauced and stuff. I guess it's just a job hazard, because ultimately you'll pick up some, because you got to think for this contest, Sports Grill must cook a few thousand wings, 2-3, and that's not even in any they're cooking on the day for all the, the thousands of people that are there. So some of them are just going to be broken, when they come in. So those ones, you'll pick them up and you just, a drum, I'll just spin. That's how I eat the drum, where, on the flat, I'll break it. Break the bottom knuckle effectively and just pull and chuck. So you do have to be careful when you're pulling. And I guess it's just trying to know what that feels like and really quickly trying to adjust and go, well, I don't want to swallow that bone shard. But I suppose anything done at a fast pace and at a high level carries some level of danger. At least ours is delicious in the process.
All right. The experience post-eating. Which one is worse for the next couple of days out of all the different competitions you enter?
Wings will be fine because we only are eating maybe 5 to 8 pounds of food total, which you're getting.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Right, so for us, it's
I just did that this morning before I got on the air. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Eggs wasn't so bad for me. I don't think people like being around me too much for the next 24 hours. But I will say Spam was probably the roughest on the system. I did 9 minutes, about 12 cans. in 8 minutes, and like that's 56 grams of sodium.
Whoa. You ate 12 cans of Spam in 8 minutes.
Yes, that was the Circuit of the Americas in Texas a couple years ago. Yeah.
People in Mississippi don't eat 12 cans of Spam in a year.
Yeah, I don't condone the behavior. My face looked like a basketball, and my fingers looked like Jimmy Dean sausages. And I think I could feel like my heart beating in my head. It was that was one of those where after the contest you're like, why do I do this? Why I was like, because I broke the world record and still got second to Jeff Esper, who won the wing contest last year. I was like, dude, if you weren't my friend, I would punch you.
Spam, dude. Wow, that is. I mean, people won't even eat Spam. Just right, like that's all it's left. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll starve and die. So the fact that you can eat 12 cans of Spam, I mean, we're still trying to figure out what the hell is Spam, right? Do you know what Spam is?
I think it was for me it was $1,000 check is what it amounted to. So it was that's all I had to think about. But it was honestly super appreciative to be out there. Like Billy Joel was headlining that night. I think Billy Joel and like 21 Pilots or something like that.
Oh, I love 21 Pilots. Dude.
It was really cool. And you're at the F1 Circuit of the Americas race, so it was almost like, dude, you probably could have told me I was eating Alpo, and I would have been out there and eating it to be able to get that experience. The sponsor was excellent, but it was definitely a little that, or I would say like 15 pounds of strawberry shortcake. That'll burn a hole through you pretty quick.
Professional eater and Spam dominator Nick Wery joining us here on the program. Nick, how many competitions are you in yearly?
This year is really, I would say, completely normalized again, because the previous few years obviously were a little wonky.
Right.
But I would say this year, hopefully like 15 to 20, total. We did bagels in Vegas in January, after coming off a shrimp cocktail in Indiana in December. Just had pistachios.
I just had a shrimp cocktail last night at St. Elmo's Fire, baby.
Yeah, that's our shrimp cocktail. St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail. Like, I tell you what, eating 12 pounds of that with the cocktail sauce will wear you out too. That's
shit. You did it with the sauce?
Yeah, they're all sauce. The shrimp sauce.
Oh, so you can breathe fine for like 7 years now. You've got so much of that sauce will open you. Were you crying?
I was. Yeah, it's a combination, and it's so cold because it's the same day as the Big Ten championship game. Out there, and it's outside, so it's freezing cold. You're ramming down the sauce. Like, I expect, honestly, to feel and look like the dragon that Sean Connery played, I think, in Dragonheart, and breathe fire after I'm done with that contest.
Yes.
It was they're just awesome people too. The people that run St. Elmo's, that whole restaurant group, they're so amazing. The shrimp I didn't believe how big the shrimp were. I'm like, these are the most quality shrimp I've ever seen. Like, that's a lobster, bro. That's not a shrimp.
Well, listen, I've been coming to Indy for the NFL Combine for about 22 years or something like that, and there's not one time that I come that I don't go to St. Elmo's Fire to have the shrimp 100%. Cocktail, because it's like going to Tampa. I always go to Burns Steakhouse. It's just there's something about certain places that have a spot that you got to visit, and obviously St. Elmo's is the place here. And that shrimp cocktail, you won't get that shrimp cocktail anywhere else, dude. I mean, it's just absolutely impeccable. And by the way, Nick, isn't America a beautiful place where you're making a living doing this, right?
So I do this, and then I manage a retail location during Monday through Friday. But it's effectively I make a living entertaining people, raising money for charity, eating foods I enjoy, traveling all over the world.
So you do it on the weekends and then go back to work during the week?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're crop dusting everybody during the week after that stuff.
Yeah, they're probably thrilled to see me go come Thursday, Friday, fly out to wherever I'm going. So it's awesome though. Did
all the employees take the day off on Monday when you came back from the Spam contest?
I think they want to hear how it went. But yes, after the Spam contest, people weren't really, there's high emissions after something like that,
That is good stuff. All right, so tell us about the competition this weekend. What should people be able to expect at Wings for Miami?
Yeah, so Wings for Wishes. It's
Wings for Wishes, Miami.com.
Yeah, Wings for Wishes is the 9th annual, Wings for Wishes event in Miami. It's the 2nd annual Wings for Wishes Wing Eating Championship. You'll have Jeff Esper ranked 2nd in the world, myself ranked 4th in the world, Gideon OG 6th in the world, amongst a parade of other great eaters. There's live music, there's food, there's vendors. We're raising money for, I couldn't think of really a better, cause. And I think we raised a little over $408,000 last year for the Make-A-Wish South Florida. Just a fun, family-oriented event. But with that said, if you're a young couple that isn't even a family, you just want to go have some drinks and listen to some live music, it's going to be a fun time too.
Eat some great food too at the same time, because there's all kinds of food.
Yeah, there's all kinds of food. I'd recommend going to Sports Grill and getting some of those wings because they're ridiculous. I will even be taking some home after I eat probably 200 of them in 10 minutes. I'll be bringing some home. So go on down, check them out. If you go on wingsforwishesmiami.com, there's a donation link. If you can't make it, if you can't donate, also okay, maybe just think about sharing it because it's about as good a cause as it comes.
There you go, wingsforwishesmiami.com. Nick Wery joining us. Nick, good luck, my brother.
Thank you.
You are special because most of us cannot do this stuff, man. You are a strength right there. By the way, what's the inspiration with the green mohawk?
Oh, that was for the pistachio contest. Wonderful pistachios. It was going to be red for this one, but I can't get it from green to red without the male pattern baldness kicking in even harder than it already is.
There you go. Good stuff. Nick, have a great weekend, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Have a good one, man. Thank you.
You got it. Nick Wery, man, professional eater. And again, it's wingsforwishesmiami.com. And you want to use our code if you want to get tickets. That way you can save 20%. You get a 20% discount. Use the code Big O. Remember, like he said, you can make a donation. They've got all kinds of stuff. It'll have delicious wings. And they're going to look, you will enjoy savory food stations featuring delicious recipes from some of South Florida's favorite restaurants, along with a wide range of refreshing beverages, mouth-watering desserts, and live music, family fun activities, and award presentation. Over 2,000 enthusiastic attendees go to this event. They were there last year. They'll have an amateur eating contest, which you can take part in. Teams of 4 can compete eating 50 wings. You can actually sign up. Go to wingsforwishes.com, wingsforwishesmiami.com. Go to that if you want to get your group in there. You guys think that you can eat some wings, you can do that. And it's also sanctioned by the Major League Eating Competition. Competitors will have 10 minutes to eat the most wings, and it's all measured in weight. So go out there and, of course, listen, in their 40-year history, they've granted more than 13,000 wishes. That's pretty awesome. So go to wingsforwishesmiami.com so you can enjoy an amazing event right there behind Sports Grill in South Miami. And we thank the great people at Sports Grill, proud sponsors of this road trip out here to the NFL Combine, proud sponsors of our platform. So please take advantage today. You should go visit a little Sports Grill. By the way, you can take some of their sauces home too now, which is a beautiful thing. There you go. What do we got? Brad Johnson, Tom Brady, LJ doesn't have any anchor, Armstrong. All right, so it looks like you guys got your own conversations going on. I don't see any questions there. What do we got? Do we have the dip still in the market going on? Let me see what's going on with our crypto market right now. Still over 23,000. Holding pretty strong, man. Actually. Jasmy's down by 58. That might be an entry zone there for me with a little Jasmy. And the market is probably hurting, right? Is that what's going on? No, Dow's up 100 points. S&P's down 6 points. And the NASDAQ is barely down. Barely down. But Dow's up 100 points. Not doing too bad. Let's see. Big O, I school the clowns in your chat. Okay. I see what's going on. All right. So people are getting schooled right now, according to Knight. That's what's going on. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Oh, where am I? Over here. Here's my show sheet. Heat last night lose to the Sixers. No Embiid. 24% shooting by the Heat. Damn. Love 0 for 2. Gabe 0 for 7. Tyler Hero, he's always fantastic. 1 for 5. And Strus 2 for 7. Tyler is really not living up to that contract. He's not turning the corner at all. He's not clutch in big games and big moments. You know that that bubble stuff was an aberration from Tyler. That's what it's turned out to be, a complete aberration. Tomorrow they take on the Knicks at 8 o'clock. What is it, Miami-Dade Arena or whatever the hell it's called? Tonight, the Predators take on the Panthers. Okay? So there you go. 7 o'clock for the Preds taking on the Panthers. We'll be at Kilroy's Bar here in downtown. I'll be there around 5:30 to meet with you guys out there, hang out. 7 o'clock, the Panthers game will start. So we'll have a little fun there. What else do we have? Ooh, man, do I feel bad for Raiders fans. Raiders fans. Okay, so let me, I don't know if you saw this, but, you know, Raiders fans were hoping for Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, or Jimmy Garoppolo, or something like that. You know, Raiders fans now won't be able to wait for anything. They're not getting anything. It's interesting how narratives change, right? The Raiders have been linked to big-name quarterbacks since they released Derek Carr, right? Well, one name that's been bandied about a lot has been Aaron Rodgers, right? Former teammate to Devontae Adams. Well, now it looks like it's not going to be in the cards. According to Victor Four of The Athletic, Raiders head coach Josh McDaniel and general manager Dave Ziegler have agreed that they won't be involved in the Rodgers sweepstakes. The Raiders just have too many holes on their roster to trade high draft picks for a 39-year-old quarterback. There appears to be other teams like the Jets that would. Now, it isn't too surprising, it says here. Late last month, Ziegler himself indicated that the Raiders' long-term plans at quarterback might not be realized in 2023. Vegas isn't one quarterback away from contending with the Kansas City Chiefs or the Chargers in the AFC West. It's all about building the future and creating a well-rounded roster. Giving up multiple first-round picks in exchange for a 39-year-old Rodgers never really made sense. So what, no Garoppolo? You're not getting Tom Brady. So you're not into Aaron Rodgers. And wait a minute, you're not close to the Chiefs and the Chargers? Didn't last year that were people writing that the Raiders could be contenders, even in the division, that anybody in that division could win the division, even the Denver Broncos, remember, because they had just added Russell Wilson. Nobody got to see Russell Wilson play yet. But last time I checked, they said the AFC West was the best division in football. They said all 4 teams might make the playoffs. They said all 4 teams could be contenders just for the division. And all of a sudden now, the Raiders are more than a quarterback away? Wow. Somebody really screwed up in their assessment last year of the Raiders. Interesting. Wow. And so now you're a Raiders fan. You were duped into last year thinking you actually had a contender, which was silly shit that I didn't believe. And now you're finding out that no, you weren't a contender last year, and you certainly will not be a contender this year. Wow. That's not the offseason I would like to have if I'm a football fan. To know that your team's pretty much done. And they were so ready to just dominate last year and take over. It's incredible. What else did I? Oh, yes. Here's the other story that I saw that I thought was kind of interesting in the NFL. And this was the Seattle Seahawks. And, yesterday we talked a little bit about Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson and how he took the high road and all of that stuff. So the Seahawks, this is a great stat. And it goes with something I've said on the show for well over 20 years. Did you know that the Seahawks have had a winning season 10 out of 11 years? I don't know. Did you know that, Sean, that the Seahawks have had a winning season 10 out of the last 11 years? Do you know that besides that, okay, first round picks during that time, they haven't picked any higher than 27th. Last year was the first time in 10 out of 11 years that they picked higher than 27th when they picked Charles Cross at 9th overall. Is that crazy or what? So now they've got the number 5 pick because of the Denver trade with Russell Wilson, and their pick is number 20, which would be higher than 27 also. But it's interesting how, and they could be going for a quarterback there at number 5. There's a couple of young guys coming out. Maybe they're interested in one of them. I don't know. And they end up picking a quarterback down the line. I don't know if Geno Smith is going to re-sign there. There's even talk about the Jets that if they fail in their moves for Aaron Rodgers or something like that, that they could end up settling for Geno Smith too. I don't know what's going to happen. But one of the things that I've told you for over 20 years on our show, what have I said for those of you that are hardcore about the draft? It's not where you pick, it's who you pick. Because I always get those guys and women out there that say, oh, no, you got to lose for your draft position. And I always tell them that matters nothing. If you're good at drafting, you will find your players. Because you could have taken Drew Brees instead of Jamar Fletcher, but you chose not to. You could have taken Anquan Bolden instead of Eddie Moore, but you chose not to. 2 Hall of Fame players. Both in the second round. Wow, what a concept. It never really matters where you pick. It's who you pick. Oh, my God. The team ended up losing Minka Fitzpatrick because him and Flores couldn't get along. Wow, we lose one of the top 5 safeties in the league. How do they replace him? Oh, Javon Holland in the second round. Oh, Xavier Howard, number 50 overall, I believe, in the second round. Zach Thomas going into the Hall of Fame, 5th round. Tom Brady just retired, the greatest of all time, 6th round. Not where you pick, it's who you pick. You're going to be able to find players all over the place. Sure, of course, you can find them with the number 1 and number 3 and number 7 pick overall, but you can also find them in the 2nd, 4th, and 6th rounds. But you got to know what the hell you're doing. Cater Kohu. I'm not putting him in the class of the guys I just said, but you got a guy that helped you out in your secondary this year and started, and you didn't even draft his ass. Not where you pick, it's who you pick. And that's a pretty cool stat. These guys have made the playoffs 10 out of 11, winning seasons 10 out of 11, and only one time they've picked really high in the draft. Shows you, man. Schneider and Carroll overall throughout the years, they know what the hell they're doing. Hell, where did they pick DK Metcalf? Was he like a 2nd round pick also, I want to say? Now that I'm thinking about it, was he 2nd or 1st? Maybe late 1st, if anything. Because something tells me he was not necessarily an early pick, right? Let me see if I'm correct here. 2nd round pick for the Seahawks. Hey, Russell Wilson probably will end up in the Hall of Fame, 3rd round pick, won you a Super Bowl. Richard Sherman was a 5th rounder. I mean, they hit on a whole bunch of picks late. That's how they built those Seattle Seahawks teams, because they hit picks all throughout the draft. The lazy fan is the fan that thinks that, well, if you don't pick them in the top 5, then there's no chance for you to build a team. No, there's a great chance for you to build a hell of a team from rounds 1 through 7 and use your street free agency too. Pretty cool story from the Seahawks. I like that. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? So going from a good team in Baltimore to a bad team in the Jets would make the Jets better? I don't know what that means. Is that part of another conversation? Every static value in terms of measurement I can find shows lower. I don't know what the hell it is. Raiders fans and Denver fans were stupid to listen to the media. They told them they were contenders. Well, but the Russell Wilson thing, nobody really knew he was going to be that bad and that the coach was terrible and all that. I could give the Denver side a break because they have a defense, and then getting Russell Wilson to level off the offense, I can see that one. With the Raiders, I never saw it. I never saw it. All right, we're wrapping it up here on the show. We thank Nick Hicks. We thank Nick Wery. We thank Omar Kelly. Of course, we thank Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this entire platform. Remember, we're going to be today at 5:30 at Kilroy's here in downtown Indy. So if you live or work in the downtown Indy area, come on out to Kilroy's Sports Bar. It's a really cool sports bar, by the way. They got a crap ton of TVs, man, and good service. And those garlic rolls with the cheese and the pepperoni, oh my God. Anyway, we'll see you there at 5:30. We appreciate everybody that tuned in, sent in a donation, a super chat, however it is. Reach out to our sponsors. We love you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.